He just cut you off. That's fine. Go for it.
All right, dude. No, that's it.
I wasn't saying anything
Tallest
important.
podcast on earth. And what's up, my nibbins? We're workshopping that. I like that a lot, dude. Anyways, this is Grant. Grant's my brother. This is Mike. This is my friend.
Kind of brother.
And your brother.
Yeah, basically my brother.
Unblooded.
Probably the two closest people, from the longest time ago.
Yeah.
In my life. Except you and I hated each other growing up.
Yeah, till I would say 18. Well, when I was 18.
Yeah. Do you remember any moment when it changed?
Yeah, visiting you in Hawaii.
Did you hate him on the flight there?
I think I remember thinking, I haven't seen Taylor in such a long time. Because I'd been living alone in San Francisco for like 2 years or something by then.
And I hadn't visited you at all. No.
I don't even think we talked.
It's really crazy.
I don't think we texted at all.
Wait. You lived in San Francisco. When did you move there?
No, I was 21.
And by that time, you were how old?
You were 19. Yeah, so 19. You had just finished a year at Irvine.
Yeah, that's right.
And
okay,
you
so
blew
that's why he didn't visit you. Because he was gone.
Exactly. Well, no, but a year before that, or no, you're right. Yeah, you were gone for a year.
But it's interesting to me because when I look back on our childhood, I just don't remember doing things together.
Our shared childhood.
I mean, yeah, but that's
right.
the crazy part
It
is it's
true.
like, yeah, it is our shared childhood, but we remember it completely differently, probably.
Definitely.
Because the only thing I really remember, like, let's get past we were just kids and we played soccer together and like
Right.
I'm trying to remember when we really started separating. And I have certain like examples in my head. Like I remember you were in the bathroom one time and I tied like a string from the bathroom door onto another door. This is when like mom and dad, were like, they would both work until 5.
Yeah.
5. And you and I would be home for like 2 or 3 hours every day alone.
Yeah, from like 2 to 5. Yeah, I remember
Yeah, from 2 to 5. And I remember using a string or like one of mom's like resistance bands and tying the door from the bathroom onto the other handle from the other room, and you wouldn't be able to get out. And that's what I remember.
How old do you think that was?
I was probably 11.
Yeah,
maybe younger actually.
I think so.
But like I just remember
so you guys weren't
beating
cool
up on each other.
No, it was like I think I started to get resentful junior high-ish time, because I think that's when you remember there was a period of time where you were taller than me in junior high. And then I passed you again for a little bit.
Yeah,
and then in high school, and then you went and like went.
That's why you didn't like him, because he was taller than you.
Well, in a way, it was like belittling.
You know what I'd like to know?
This is a perfect way to start the tallest.
This is
podcast
great,
ever.
and what I'd actually like to know now is like, what was your perspective of me growing up? Do you really even remember?
That was my perspective, big time.
But not really,
I get
because
it.
you were
I'm
taller
looking
than
up
me.
at him.
Yeah, I get it.
You were taller than me until what age?
It's sometime in junior high. So like, I don't know, like 8 or 9. When do you go to junior high? How old are you in junior high?
No, you're
11.
No, you're 12 to 14 in junior high.
Okay, so around there,
right? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but like, okay.
No, that's high school. Oh, you are 12 through 14.
Yeah, 14 is high school. I'm pretty sure 13, 14.
Well, graduating middle school is 14, probably also.
Sure.
So you're probably 10 when you go to middle school, right?
Yeah, 10, 11.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyways, I'm just so interested to know, like, from your perspective, why were we not like, oh, dude, we play fucking soccer together and like we have fun together.
It was
like,
one thing. It's like never cool to go to school with your brother, ever. Like I'm older than you. I have my friend group. Like they
clear,
see me
2 years older than me.
Yeah, 2 years older. They see me a certain way. I've like established this like
you don't want
cool
him to
vibe.
break the facade.
Yeah, and it is a facade. I can admit that, or at least partially.
No, it's just
at the time. I
mean,
mean,
a little bit different.
I wanted to be perceived a certain way.
I always
and
felt
Taylor,
like you were just you.
Taylor knew, when I was shitting in the bathtub, and I don't want other people to know that. You know a different side of me. Yeah, I think so.
You think like what is the deal with?
He's
older
seen your
brothers?
vulnerability
Because it's so weird. Like you see some people where it's like their older brother like wants to take care of the younger brother,
right?
And then I felt like growing up it wasn't that.
Yeah, but
way.
I feel like it's usually an older brother with a younger sister, or it's like there's a bigger gap between them than 2 years. Because like you were the same way with Shane.
I think that I was just gonna say that
he's an older brother.
State
Shane's 2 years
your
older.
family status
Because my
first.
my brother's 13 months older than me.
One brother.
Yeah,
Who's,
yeah. My mom says that she regrets not. She always tried to make it equal between Shane and I, because we were so close in age. Everything had to be even. Like I got what he got, etc. And she said that looking back, I don't know if she still feels this way, but definitely in my like at least young adult or late teens, I remember her saying that she wishes that she had made him the older brother so that he felt a sense of duty, like
Totally.
that she had established our relationship as he is the older brother instead of we're like equals, and that robs him of being his actual standing, which is he's my older brother. So he felt no responsibility to take care of me. He was just like annoyed.
And you had the same thing then? You feel that way?
A version of it. I don't.
Did you think that your parents didn't ever like tell you like he's your younger brother, you got to take care of him?
No, definitely not.
Okay,
No,
so do you
I
think
agree. No,
that
for sure.
that could have helped?
Maybe. I think if it was like pitched more as like, hey, you have an opportunity here to like
The pitch meeting.
to have somewhat of a like arm around your
Yeah.
like little brother kind of vibe, and it was less that, and it was at times it felt like it was us against them with certain things.
Yeah.
And then
So we also, I'm sorry. Can you just sit up a little? Just looking on the camera, it's like your feet are in front of your face, dude. It's like you can't. I'm not saying you don't need to sit, but I want you to be comfortable, dude. But just be a little more aware. It's fine.
Can I do this?
Yeah, that's great.
Alright, cool. What was I just talking about?
I don't remember.
The pitch meeting.
Yeah, it was like it was us against
Oh,
them.
sometimes it was you guys against.
Sometimes it was us against them earlier on, and then at a certain point it became you versus me, because it was
Right.
like it became very clear early on. Taylor's gonna do sports,
Right. And that,
he's a giant.
and
It
I
makes
do
sense.
remember also as a kid being like the button pusher.
Yeah, totally.
You know, like really competitive, really button pusher. Because we even had, family friends who had kids that were much older than us, like Rob and Nick, who were like, I don't know, 7, 8 years older than us.
Have you talked about who Rob and Nick are yet?
No.
Our fake cousins.
Yeah, pretend cousins.
Did you have this too?
No.
Yeah, that's basically what they
Oh,
were, pretend cousins.
No, but when I was little, I thought friends and cousins were just different words for the same thing.
Yeah,
So good.
it's
because
all the same. at
because
that age.
100%.
your first friends are usually your cousins
Right.
because you meet them before you.
The only people you see.
Yeah, and they're the closest like that you have to peers like
Totally.
your age, and so I was like, cousins, friends. I was like, oh, these are my new cousins. Like when I finally made friends that I wasn't related to.
Mm.
So I was confused. For
These
a
are
while.
my school cousins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. That's what I thought when I was little.
Interesting.
It took me a while to realize there's difference.
I feel like they were originally like pitched to us as like, I'm using this word pitch a lot. We were pitched a lot of things.
Well, you're in
as
the
kids.
music business,
That's
bud.
so true. I feel like mom and dad pitched Rob and Nick to us as like, these are your cousins. They live
Right.
up in Oregon.
But to
We
be
see them
fair,
there.
we treated them as such.
But they didn't
Yeah.
try to like lie. It's just like that's like your
No, I think it was
uncle.
just easier to understand.
Your dad's
when we
friend
were
is always your
kids.
uncle,
Yeah,
even
totally.
though he's not your uncle.
Yes.
Also,
absolutely.
not as important as I just remember being a fucking button pusher, and like they were what, 8 years older than us, or
Yeah, they
pretend
were
cousins,
like significantly older.
significantly older.
I have a relevant question,
What?
but go ahead. I just
He's
want
allowed
let's
to
circle back.
ask.
Let's
Oh,
just
you
circle
can
back.
ask,
Go
dude.
ahead.
Let's
Yes,
just
let
circle back.
Okay, we'll circle back.
But it's just about like who got more mad. But
Okay.
we'll come back.
Let's circle back. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. No, but go ahead.
No, it's fine. All I wanted to say was that I was a button pusher. I remember always like grabbing them or doing something, like we would try to wrestle them.
Yeah.
And I remember wrestling them, but then when they would actually, because they were way bigger than us, when they would actually try to do something, I would just fall on the floor.
Yeah, he would always.
But that
fall
was
on
a
the floor.
thing,
It was
dude.
so funny. You would go like push Nick and then fall on the floor.
Yeah.
Because you knew that he was just gonna bring you there anyways.
Yeah. Dude, that's what
so good.
that's what a lot of bitch kids did.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
bitch kids.
But-
That's so true.
And you know what, dude? I do remember being a huge bitch as a kid.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
the story that I always tell is like, I remember going to Disneyland and I was 5, 6 years old.
Is this about going on the Haunted Mansion?
No, this is about, we went to Disneyland and you were on like Space Mountain and doing all the rides and shit.
Right.
And I was terrified of roller coasters.
Right.
And so I rode It's a Small World with my
oh
mom.
yeah, with mom like
and my fake
multiple
aunt,
times.
dude.
That's right. I forgot
And that's
about
the
that.
only thing I would do. And I just remember we all eventually got me to go on Pirates of the Caribbean.
You cried the whole time.
And I cried the
The
entire
whole
time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even when we watched like home movies, mom converted those VHSs into DVDs, and we watched
Totally.
them last Christmas, and I was like, Dude, I just was such a bitch as a kid.
you cried a lot more than I did.
Yeah, I was sensitive.
about
I'm sensitive to
things.
the world, I think, still to this
For
day.
sure.
But yeah.
And then that kind of switched at a certain point. I think I got more sensy than you for a while.
But do you feel like in that upbringing, you're like, oh, my brother's a bitch. Like, he's not someone we can like gang up
Yeah,
together.
for sure. I think we still don't know who did this, but I just remember having band practice in the garage.
It's not me. I know it's not me.
I think it's you,
Dude.
I really
I
do.
would never. That's not even in my personality.
Yeah.
I'm not. My like default is like if my friends have siblings, I'm always like, oh, how can I get them to like me? Like I want to be friends with them too.
Now.
No, always. I was
Okay.
always like that.
To be
fair.
clear, you grew up in San Jose, and we've known you since how long? Grant's known you since how long?
Middle school,
Middle
Yeah.
school, okay.
sixth grade.
Yeah. Okay.
Big time.
And actually, he went to. Wait, oh, you did too. You both went to
Dartmouth.
all of the schools that my mom went to.
Crazy.
My mom, my uncle, and my aunt.
That's actually insane.
You guys went to the same elementary school, middle school, and high school.
Yeah, they were
and
all
you
within
didn't
like a
go to
mile.
Leeds, you went to Athens.
No, I only went to the same
Big time.
middle school and
Mm.
high school.
Right. That is pretty crazy.
Is this a good time to circle back?
Yeah, it's fine. I guess I was just
Well,
trying to get. What I really am trying to get down to the
let
bottom
us know
of.
what you're trying to get to the bottom.
What I'm
of.
really trying to get to the bottom of is trying to understand more perspective on who I was growing up, you know, and why we didn't become. Because now, I mean, dude, I love you. You know, now it's
Love
like
you, bud.
our relationship is fucking awesome, and I'm
say
like,
say
where
I
did
love
we-
you. Say I love you.
You were so obsessed with that.
Say
dude.
no. Say it to him. Say
What
I
is
love
this? This is
Because he said I love you.
No, you would like if you get upset if someone says like I love you and they just spell it with the U and they don't say it all.
No,
the
I
way
don't get
out.
upset. What are you talking about? You're thinking of someone else.
No,
I
that's
just want to hear you
dude.
say I love
That's
you right now,
You
just in
told
case you're
me that, dude.
uncomfortable.
What?
That you don't like I love ya or you like I love you. Like why can't you just say I love you? Why
Look,
is it, love
I don't
ya?
have an actual thing. This is just an opportunity for me. I saw
All right.
an opening where
Yeah.
maybe
Okay.
you're a little bit uncomfortable saying you,
I'm
and so
not.
I'm trying to make you say you.
I said I love you.
Yeah, I know you're not uncomfortable.
I also don't. I don't think I have a problem with him saying I love you.
I don't.
Yeah.
I know you don't.
Right.
I know. I'm just stirring the pot.
So now
I
it's
don't,
me that like
I
it's
don't
a
actually
crazy
care.
thing that I brought
No,
up.
I just
you
wanted to
don't
make
have
sure.
a problem with it, and now
I think I'd like it if you said I love you.
I don't have a
more.
problem with
okay,
it.
you know?
Okay, well you did.
No, I was just like, I wonder. If
Actually,
this is
you
a
know what?
thing.
Taylor and I are really good about saying love you. Actually,
I know you guys.
I
are.
feel like we're
you
good about
told
that.
you say I love you to me all the time.
Yeah.
The full thing.
Yeah.
Big
I
time.
know. I
No
don't have a
problem.
thing
Full
about
thing.
it. I just for a second, I was like, I wonder if right now, for some reason, you're uncomfortable saying I love you.
Yeah. I was being selfish. I was trying to pull out from you a little bit, like trying to understand someone's perspective that's not mine on
Right.
myself, because someone who grew up
Right.
next to me my entire life.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
also,
describe him.
Also,
He
why
was
we
a
weren't
fucking
friends.
weasel.
Why?
Just look at him.
You said fox, by the way.
Yeah. Wait, what did I say? I said
Why
a
was he
sick
weasel?
fox.
You wore
I said
Uggs.
Grant had
like
a fat face, and he said I looked like a sick fox.
You wore
dude.
you wore Uggs and sweats in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taylor's outfit. You
Uggs
had
and
you had
shorts.
like how Homer Simpson has an outfit. You had like an outfit that was
Bright
like
colors.
it was like a really big like oversized like in my mind this could be wrong.
It's gonna be.
It was like a really big like remember those gecko t-shirts? It was like a
like a
gecko.
big dog t-shirt.
Yeah, it was like a
Hey, where
gecko
are
Hawaii.
those?
Those
That
are-
seems like something that would come back right now.
it's for sure
Yeah.
back around.
I actually
It
saw a
is?
guy
Yeah.
riding on a
Seen
bike
it.
over here who had a huge, just a
It's so
like
sick.
a mud-looking shirt, and it just was this huge gecko on the back.
Mm.
Could be gecko.
Remember the
Mm,
what's
wow.
the one the shark with the sunglasses? Is that Maui, and
Maui
Sons?
and Sons,
Maui.
dude.
Yeah, those were
Oh,
sick
yeah.
too.
Mm,
I love
yeah.
those. But you wore that, and then you had little shorts
Yeah,
and puke green Uggs.
they weren't puke green; they were tan,
Yeah, they were
like
tan.
furry tan. But yeah,
What?
They were like the normal
Yeah.
ones.
I guess I don't remember.
I had
that.
tall ones.
Yeah,
Yeah, the full boots.
I remembered it wrong.
Dude, you know how I
Okay,
got?
wait, but we still. I feel like we haven't gotten to the bottom of it for you because I really want to get to mine, but we need to satisfy you
Yeah,
first.
go ahead.
What about him was like little bitch?
It was the mouth breathing, which like,
Ironically,
He was a mouth breather.
dude, Taylor has been living with his mouth open his entire life. Yeah.
Okay, but
Like,
that's
I
really
just-
what made you not like
no,
him.
it was okay. It was the outfit. It was like
No,
Oh,
I
no,
don't
the-
even believe
the
that.
I don't
pre-
believe it either.
The pre-volleyball outfit with like the crew jeans
Skinny
and the
girl
big
jeans.
shoes and the swoop haircut.
Well, you know what's interesting is like
Oh, I never knew that.
no, I know
Taylor.
that was like junior high Taylor.
that's right. That was
Yeah.
my really rebellious stage where I stopped playing sports. I was like, I'm
But
done
I
with
just
organized
pick- like,
sports.
I just picture
if
you
you
doing
wore
this.
that and you had that.
always like when
Yeah.
someone when mom wanted to talk to you, it was like
I wouldn't have liked you.
mouth
either.
open,
Yeah, I
just
know,
like
I
hair
know what you're
swoop, like
saying,
eyes
yeah.
like barely open because you're probably already smoking weed.
Like
in
his
junior high
his
for some reason.
whole just default face, even when no one's around, is dedicated to
Yeah.
like saying, "I don't give a fuck."
Totally. Like
That's
I literally
hilarious.
could
I
not
don't
give less of a
care.
fuck. Absolutely.
Does that resonate with you at all?
I mean,
Playing video
a
games,
little
like,
bit, but it
I
doesn't.
can just
the
see
part,
you watching TV, going. Like,
No,
at
don't
the
believe
fence,
it,
but
just
I don't
like,
believe this because he's your brother. There must have been something else that made you to not like him.
Dude, I really don't think it's that deep. I think it's
He
like
he was just annoying
he
to
was
you.
just, yeah, it was just like you
Yeah.
weren't cool.
Yeah. You're
Like,
right. And
we
when
were
you're-
into like you and I have been cyclical with like the things that we get into. Like I feel like I would get into something and then like you would either get into that thing
well,
later or
I was
something
gonna bring up
else.
skating because
Yeah,
I
gotta-
started skating and you were like fucking way better than I was.
Well, I'd already been done with skating. I feel like at that point, like we skated together maybe for a little bit, but then like I stopped and you got really into it when I stopped doing it. And then it was like, oh, like he's my little brother. He just like does the things that I used to do.
You-
'cause, like,
you also
I'm older
don't-
and cooler.
when you're young, you have your friends, and what your friends are so important to you that you don't really see
No.
any value in being invested in your sibling.
Absolutely.
They're just like a person you were forced to grow up with.
Yes.
So you don't see an opportunity there. You're like, I have my friends. I don't need another
Yeah,
friend.
it's like when we're at home, we're not hanging out. That's not like
Right.
hanging out. That's like we're in prison together.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
my
yeah.
cellmate.
Yeah. You didn't get a
It's
choice.
like-
Constantly riots, dude.
Guaranteed.
It's
There
funny.
are for
That's
sure
literally
riots.
what it is. It's you don't see an opportunity or value to explore in your sibling because
Agreed.
they're a given.
Yes.
They're not like a novelty. They've always been there. They'll always be there. That's not interesting.
It's really easy to take for granted because you're
Yeah,
not going
exactly.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Like I'm stuck with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then at a certain point, it was like we got to kind of flip it and see it as a cool thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we've like been through the trenches together. We actually maybe have more in common than we think we do.
I
And
think
like,
that's the cool thing about family. As you grow up, you go like, oh, how cool would it be to have friends that like have to like me forever?
Yeah, unconditional
That's
love.
sad.
Is really
Yeah,
what it
because
is.
we
That's
share
sadder,
blood.
but yes, absolutely.
Like they have to be my friend forever. Like let's invest
Right.
in that. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, that's also interesting because as I got older, I don't know about you, dude, but I've always just felt like kind of a selfish person.
yeah,
And
Absolutely.
I had a therapist once tell me, a guy I do not think he's great at his job, but I had a therapist tell me once, he's like, you've never had to work for relationships.
totally.
And
I resonate with that too, though.
yeah, because I mean, because you were not tall and athletic, and I think that carried, like being tall,
Oh my
handsome, and
God.
athletic carried me.
But
But, like,
hits
you were
the
always-
nail on the head.
Yeah,
Right. And
That
when
makes so much sense.
And when he
to me
said that, I
right
was
now.
like, damn, I never really like thought of it like that. And I felt that way in relationships a lot too, where it was just kind of like, I just wish you changed it. I never felt like I was
No.
wanting to get like broken.
people
up
always
with
wanted
or,
to
like-
hang out with us.
Right. And
in
and
life.
you to me are
I feel
like,
like I'm grouping myself in with.
well,
this
you
now.
are because
Yeah.
yes, you're not tall and handsome like me. Yes, you're barely 6 feet
But
that's-
yeah, exactly.
tall and handsome.
Yeah, just in a different way.
in a different way.
yeah, kind of like how your shadow is smaller than you. I'm like your shadow. Still, tall and handsome, just a little less. It's not a good metaphor.
Not
actually.
good. You'll have
It's pretty
better
bad.
ones.
Yeah,
But
it's-
listen, and that metaphor aside, I think you're like one of the most creative and witty people I know. Both of you,
That was good.
honestly. Well, that's to me
Totally.
that was your tall and handsome. Is
Yeah,
that you
big
were just
time.
like witty and easy. I think both of us are really easy to get along with.
for sure.
But did you ever feel like that was your tall and handsome thing, and that fucked you up later on in your adulthood? or
I
not
think
really?
that like I always knew how to like talk. I knew how to talk my way out of things, and I knew like how to. This is gonna sound like fucked up, but like I feel like I knew how to like manipulate my friends' emotions. Like I knew how to make people like me, basically, and it wasn't very much work.
Mhm.
Where like I feel like I found my personality very early, and I was like, these are the things that I like. I know that I like them, so I'm just gonna double down on these things.
which were what?
Which was like, I mean, music was pretty early on. Skating was kind of a thing for a little bit, but then music was like, oh, like I think I'm really good at this, and I think that people will like want to be friends with me because of this. So let's kind of just try to start.
it was a
make
conscious
base camp
choice?
here? Yeah, I think so.
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe I just found a thing that I liked, and then
But
found
I mean,
other people
maybe
that I
like
liked.
like a part of your DNA. It's just like that's our survival tactic. That's like deep in you. And when you recognize you're good at something and you can get your way because of it, you just keep doing it
Totally.
to fit into your tribe or whatever.
But I feel. Were you trying to say like I feel like you and I didn't ever really have to try hard to make friends, or really keep friends?
I just had a therapist say it's so simple to me like that, and I was just it like awestruck me for some reason.
Yeah.
Because as for me at least, like I'm trying to do a lot of work to like evolve, in a lot of
Totally.
ways. And it was just the way he said it, like, really struck me. Where I was like,
yeah,
damn,
but
I
that
never
doesn't.
thought of
That's
it, like,
one part of your life. That doesn't mean it doesn't make what you're doing, what you just said, what you felt like you're doing a lot of work. Doesn't make that untrue. It just means the other thing is you never had to work for it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Well,
I got lost.
Yeah. Wait,
I
what
thought
did
you were
say?
trying to say that, like, when he said that to you, it challenged like your whole
No, it didn't. It
view
just,
of yourself.
I was just like, oh, totally. You know?
Yeah.
And I like.
It just hit. It was a truth bomb.
Yeah, 100%. But it's like I knew that, but when it was said so simply in that way, I was like, oh,
Easy to digest.
maybe you're super right. That would make tons of logical sense.
Totally.
You know? Did you feel like do you feel like a selfish or that you were that way type of person? Is that just innate?
I
in
have
all
a
of
selfish
us?
gene, but I also have the opposite
You're really empathetic.
because of my mom. So I work really hard to combat the other thing. Like, but also, dude, our lifestyle, like being good at something and then having control over your career, kind of makes you selfish in that way.
I'm just gonna interrupt for half a second. Just like introduce, like, you don't. It doesn't need to be a big thing, but like Grant is a songwriter in the music community. Michael, what would you like to say to that?
Oh yeah, I'm an artist. That make me
yeah, you're both musicians.
professionally.
Yeah.
Yes,
Literally,
we
like,
have,
make
we've
a
done
living
it
making
professionally.
music.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
okay, continue. Sorry.
So like and
a pretty good one too.
We've to, except for I'm MC Hammer at this point. So,
That's sad. Oh my gosh.
we don't need to get into that. Maybe
No,
later.
that's fine.
It just, I think that's the selfish part of me, is that I want to do what I want to do. I'm so like focused on fulfillment in what I do that like my whole life is catered to that. So that's like where I feel selfish, is like I just want to work on my creative stuff every day, and so like I see less family because of it. I moved far away from my
But
family
isn't part
because
of your
things like that.
drive to, with the bigger, greater goal of being able to like give back in a way?
Yes,
and provide?
100%, and that's good motivation. But I also think part of that is like an excuse,
100%.
because it's like you can work as hard as you want, and no one can make you feel bad as long as you say you're doing it for someone else.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like if my family's like, we just want to see you, it's been a long time, I'll be like, yeah, but I'm trying to buy us land in a compound
Right.
so everyone can live together. And then it's like, it is true, but it's also an excuse.
You're also doing it because you want to be successful.
Yeah.
Because like, how dope would that be?
Yeah, I just don't want to have to listen to anyone else. I don't
know.
I cannot understand. Well, I can understand. I just refuse. Given the choice, like if you have the capability to work for yourself, how could you do anything else?
Yeah, I'm interested too from like a songwriting perspective also. Like, how hard is collaborating? You know, like, do you find that like if you go to write with someone, like you guys wrote music together also, like
We did.
what is that process like having to in some way like have a team of people and be like, you think some melody is fucking great and he's like, it's whatever. Like,
I mean, it's just like it's like any other learned skill. I feel like it's like if you grew up playing basketball by yourself, and then all of a sudden you like found out basketball was a team sport. It's like, oh, basketball's like can be played with 5 people on a team,
and it's way easier now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, it
I think
kind of
this
just opens it up a little bit.
Pretty bad metaphor again.
I've
You're like-
apparently been
you're over 2 right
blowing
now.
metaphor.
Because how do you learn to play basketball by yourself? You mean just like shoot?
Yeah,
That's how everyone learns.
yeah, yeah. In fact, now I
That's
stand by this
not
metaphor.
that's not basketball.
That is a version of basketball for sure.
It's just shooting the ball.
Yeah, shooting the basketball.
What is basketball? Just has to be 5. It doesn't have to be 5-on-5.
Well, it's not a competitive sport. It's just like shooting.
They
I
do
mean, I guess it
one-on-one,
is.
dude. They do one-on-one.
I'm standing. I'm
That's
standing by
one-on-one.
this melody.
It's
Is
not as bad as I thought it
Okay,
was.
No,
okay,
it's
okay.
not.
Hold on. What you're trying to say is you can learn the skill of giving and taking.
Yeah.
That's all
Or
it is.
let's
Collaboration.
Let's just go back to before I said what I said. And let me
Okay,
just say-
it wasn't as bad as the previous
No,
metaphor,
the other one
but it
was
wasn't
worse.
like the best.
For sure, the other one was worse. But it's just like a learned skill. Like I learned how to write songs by myself. So I was like, this is how, and through listening to interviews and watching other like songwriters talk about writing songs, this is how you write songs.
Yeah.
So I did it by myself for a long time. And then you get curious, like I write songs this way, like how do you do it? And then you watch someone else do it or do it with someone. You're like, wow, I like you like have a title. Like you start with a title first. Like you write a song starting with a title. Like that's crazy. I've always just kind of like sat down and played guitar and then something came out and I wrote a song out of it. But like you learn different ways of getting to the same result, and it's like cool.
And you guys see it as a
That's the best part, though.
Yeah, it's dope.
Is stealing tricks, because there's no right or wrong. It's just how many tools do you have to get an idea going. But the hard part is when somebody else has an idea that you don't like.
Yeah.
Which
how do you say you don't like it? What's the proper way to be like if someone comes up to you with like a
you would know, not me.
I want to use an example, but I'm afraid to use
I mean, it's tough because I feel like
if I told you I was writing a song called
that's,
what would you think
that's a
of that
pretty
idea?
real example already. I mean, let's
say you're in a room with a writer,
Yeah.
you're both writing a song together. You've never met this writer before, so you don't have history.
totally
And then they have an idea, and you subjectively
right.
know that's a bad idea.
Well, I don't know. It's like I think I'm at the point now, and like I'm kind of like a yes and guy as far as collaborating goes.
Yeah, but
where like if someone said something, I wouldn't say I definitely wouldn't say that's a bad idea.
right.
I feel like it'd be more like we could build on top of it, or like if it a lot of times it just gives me a better idea.
Yeah, but how do you
How do I tell them that it's bad?
make sure that idea doesn't make its way into the song?
I mean, sometimes it just does.
And you just have to be okay with that?
Yeah, but also like I feel like I've seen enough like things that I would consider to be bad ideas win that like I don't even necessarily know what a bad idea is sometimes anymore.
Right.
Like songwriting is a pretty specific, unique thing where like I've just been wrong about so many things that like if someone comes to me and goes, I want to write a song called Floating Chairs, I'm like,
Yeah.
that seems crazy. Like I don't know how you would make that make sense, but like let's try to get there.
It's just
that sounds
the
fun.
skill of being open.
Do you feel
100%.
like also everyone in this room, correct me if I'm wrong, has worked at Starbucks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were a Starbucks warlord. How long did you work there for?
1 year.
1 year. I was 2
Starbucks
years.
Warlord is
I mean,
insane.
basically, you worked there for like what, fucking 10 years?
11.
11 years.
Yeah.
Do you feel like working at Starbucks helped you become
Starbucks.
like such a great?
Starbucks.
What is this?
Not kind of.
You didn't.
Dude,
it wasn't that bad.
You have like kind of created from your living abroad this like literally 2%.
No, I don't do it anymore.
No,
dude.
not that. But I noticed it today when we were hanging out. You've created this like 2%. I wasn't born here and English isn't my first language. Like
Exactly.
it's literally 2% because
Yeah, it's benign,
98%
but it's there,
of the
for
time
sure.
it's like, no, you're American and you were born here. But
Yeah.
but then you say things with like consistent enough intervals that I'm like, you kind of sound like
Okay, let's separate a couple things here.
you
'cause
moved
I
here
want-
when you were 2
Yeah,
or something.
big
You know what I mean?
exactly.
That's
You
a
maybe
fucking
spent
hilarious-
Or like 3.
a couple formative
So
years overseas.
Yeah. You
Well,
like
let's
big
get rid of
time.
two things because one thing I know for sure, and everyone who's played overseas knows, is when you come back from whatever country you played in, you speak like a form of English that they would understand. So you kind of
Right.
use their accent to speak
In
English
that
words.
other country.
In
Right,
that other
right,
country.
right.
And there's always like a transition period
Totally.
of like a month or so, and you fucking hate it more than anyone I know.
I just notice it, and I feel like I guess you at this
Dude,
point now notice it too.
This is
but-
when I have a problem with it. Is when the so obviously Filipino mailman walks up and the three of us get into a discussion, and then you start using Italian English. You start using an Italian accent
no,
to
I
speak
just-
English to him.
I
And I was like,
just use
and
it-
then your
I don't
argument
do
was
it-
like, it helps him. And I'm like, dude, what? Why would you speaking
Can I tell you
Italian
something? Now
English
listen to me,
help
dude.
the Filipino
No,
mailman
listen,
understand
listen.
you?
When I go to like a massage therapist and I can tell that or I go to like
You-
a Thai foot spa or
You just
something.
did it. In the last 2 sentences, you said,
He kinda
if you're
did.
watching this podcast, rewind and play it back. You just did your 2% accent.
What did I do?
Just a little bit.
I don't know. I can't remember, but it was a little
I
European.
think it was the way you said massage.
It was
therapist. I can't
vaguely-
remember. It was
Massage
something like-
therapist.
There you go. That's
Yeah.
fair.
So
Okay,
American.
when I go
It
to a
was really good.
Thai body spa massage therapist. Now I
Yeah.
can't stop thinking about it. I gotta try
It's
to
fine.
just be myself.
Sorry, just be
dude.
yourself.
I'm
Just
gonna
be
be
yourself. Be
myself.
yourself.
We focus
When
on
we
it
go to
too
like a
much.
Thai massage therapist and I can tell that English is not their first language, I
Right.
use a dumbed down version of English. And some people would say, why are you doing that? Just speak in your... But I've seen enough interactions in my life of people who say, what? Or they clearly don't understand, and I'm hypersensitive to it.
All right.
So
Okay.
that's why sometimes I do it. But I want to be clear about the difference between me coming home and having a little bit of that, and the 2% that you're describing.
Can I pretend
Because
that
I
I'm the
don't think
Thai
there's
massage therapist?
Yeah, right.
And then will you speak English to me in the way that you think I'd understand better?
Yeah.
No, because it's so contextual. Like, it's not like I'm saying it in like a what
You want?
would you say Chinese? You said Thai?
Would you like some water?
See,
I don't
you
know how to
can't
do
even
a
it,
Thai.
dude, 'cause you're
Well, I don't
fucking
know.
Canceled, bro.
What's the
You're
Thai
real
accent?
bad, dude.
What's the?
I don't know a
actually
Thai
don't
accent.
know.
But here's what I do know is
I
you're
can do
right. If
Filipino.
I go to Mexico, I go there for like a surf trip, and the person who works there is trying to speak English with us. I'll use simpler sentences, and I don't want to say I'll have a Mexican accent. I don't think I go full Mexican.
Right.
But I use really simple sentences
Yeah, I get
sound,
that.
that have big pauses.
Yeah,
That make
that's
it sound
fine.
like I was
That's-
born in Mexico.
I understand
but moved
that.
there when I was
It's just
to
the
America.
Italian accent. It's broken Italian English spoken to someone who doesn't speak Italian. That doesn't help.
Yeah, it does help.
You think so?
I'm positive, dude.
They might appreciate
because
it.
I have so many.
Also,
don't
this
know.
Filipino dude spoke English flawlessly.
Wait,
you were
mailman?
making up a
Which
real
mailman
example?
are you
I thought
talking
making
about?
it up.
He did no. This was real. This happened on Hyperion in front of our old house.
What happened?
Interesting.
The Filipino mailman walked up. He started chopping it up with you and I, and he spoke perfect. He had a Filipino accent, but it was like minimal. He spoke perfect English.
Here's what I'll tell you, dude.
And you started talking to him with an Italian accent.
Dude, no
and I was like,
way.
what are you doing?
sure.
Here's
dude.
what I will tell you though.
Guaranteed.
It is definitely like ingrained in me in some way. When I hear someone who's speaking and I can tell, and you would not know because I've spent so much time overseas.
Yeah, I give you that.
and a lot.
I'm just saying it doesn't make
Hannah
sense.
gives me shit for it too. Everyone gives me
surface.
shit for it who hasn't been overseas.
Yeah,
and
I
I
get
get
it.
it because I've had teammates where if I just spoke to them like they are right now, they'll say, I don't really understand what you're saying.
Uh-huh.
And when I first went to Italy and all my years overseas, you get so much what?
Yeah, that makes sense in
That
Italy.
eventually everywhere in every country.
But do you use that same accent?
No, and it's been so long since I've been there. I don't even know what that.
It's kind of an amalgam too. It's not straight Italian, but it's mostly Italian.
If I could,
It's
like,
a little bit Hawaiian.
if I could like close my eyes and you spoke in like, if only we could like play.
Thing is, I'm starting to do the
Arrivederci.
Hawaiian thing.
No,
What?
not-
Arrivederci.
that's a
Why did
nothing.
you say
Nothing?
that?
No,
Why
Did
did
it sound kind of Italian though?
I don't know. Do it again.
Arrivederci.
you,
It does a little
you're trying to say
Arrivederci.
yeah.
Is that something?
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arrivederci.
Yeah, you're saying it. You just
Yeah,
forgot
right.
the first
What
part.
does that mean?
See you later. Goodbye.
I actually really like that.
I
Yeah,
have
it's
this
nice.
coffee and I didn't see what it was called. I don't know what it's called. Guji is the first word, and then it's Guji, and then the next word is Walichu, and it's Walichu.
Dude.
Guji
Wait.
Walichu, and then
I'm gonna tell
Jordan,
you. Right
hold on.
Wait, hold on.
Jordan, my manager, read it to me. He's like, "This is called Guji Walichu," and I was like, "Who the fuck is Guji, and why does he want to eat me?"
Guji Walichu is another one of the family
Listen
of
to this. And what do we call this? Like this grouping of words. There are
It's
just
like-
some words that just sound good.
They could, yeah, it also sounds like it could be like a person's name.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Grant and I ordered these. I don't. What is it called? Tin cake.
It's this place called Pillow Talk
Pillow talk.
that does like little metal tins of like single servings of cake.
It's really bomb.
And they come frozen. They're
cake.
so
they're-
good.
Like,
frozen cake is amazing.
Kind of like, what's it called? It's a bunt cake or something, or
I don't really know.
What's
I don't
that?
know what that is.
do you know that store? Anyway, sorry.
No.
Anyways, I ordered one and it came with an ingredient called kanako ganache. And it's like kanako ganache, or kanako is like soybean flour.
Uh-huh.
It was just like a topping.
Uh-huh.
But right when we were trying to read it, I was like, dude, this is one of the greatest words.
It's really good.
And another word that
What's
I
it?
want to add to
Kanako.
Kanako
Kanako
ganache.
Ganache.
Ganache, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great word.
Yeah. Guji Walicho. Guji Walicho. Ichu. Kanako Ganache.
And
It's
another
a-
one
it's
that
like
I-
if we string enough of these along, it's a Star Wars
Another
language.
one that
Yeah,
I
for sure
like
it is.
is poblano. I
Oh,
like
poblano
saying, you have to
pepper?
say it like that though.
Poblano pepper.
Poblano.
100%.
Yeah.
Poblano is just a cool word. And we were talking about dog names earlier too. Speaking of just great names, and I love Mr. Chuckles, dude. I think Mr.
Mr. Chuckles is a great.
is a great name.
Do you-
That's an insult.
You're gonna get a dog potentially. What are your names for your dog?
Girly. I want a dog named Girly. So
How you spell it?
Girly.
Oh, just like it is.
Yeah.
It's my mom's maiden name.
100%.
Girly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Denise Gurley.
Gurley.
That's right.
Like the football
Whoa,
player.
that's
What's his
sick.
name?
And then your stepdad's name
Kanako Gurley.
is
Gucci
Roland, but
Yeah.
goes by Bud.
Bud.
Which
And my
That's
dad's
sick.
name is William.
William.
I was
but
just
goes
having this
by
conversation
Bud.
with someone the other day. I don't understand. How did Dick come from Richard? What are some other ones?
William, Billy, Bill.
Roland and
Williams-
Bud.
Williams Bill?
Bill is short for William.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
time.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Isn't Bill short for Billy?
No, I think Billy is.
Bill is short for Billiam.
A billionaire, dude.
Actually.
No.
Pretty good.
Bill is not short for Billy. I think
You
I
know-
think
Yeah.
Billy
Dude, you know what?
is a nickname for Bill.
You know what? This brings me to a great point, dude. I feel like our entire lives together, I can never get away with anything.
No one can.
No, no, no.
That's really true.
But we can all admit that you guys are special people, specifically against me, at catching me in any fucking wrong thing I
Dude,
said.
I
You never
like
let
the
it
way
slide.
that he just said that. You guys are special people at
me.
like he's saying that like we're attacking him.
Yes.
But he
Absolutely.
said we're special people specifically at me.
Yeah.
And I would
It's so
agree
much
with that.
it's so much better than going, "You have a fat face." Which is what you said to me when I got here. No,
Yeah,
how did you word it? You said
I wish I had
I
a
wi-
fatter face like
you said
you.
I wish I had a fatter face like
No,
And
but
then
you.
when I was
that's
talking
what
about
you
my
said.
sides, you said to me, "You're like I was talking about my profile, just like one side is
First,
better
you
than
were
the other."
ragging on yourself.
And then he said, "Your forehead's just really big on camera."
Yeah.
It's like,
that's
why did you
insane.
say that?
but we agreed
Insane.
why I said it.
It had nothing to do with either thing.
You literally said, "Do you see why? Do you see why I have to sit from the left side compared to straight on?"
And you said because you have a giant
And
forehead.
isn't that what you were alluding to?
You're saying on one side it looks bigger?
No, you were saying that I have
That's
to be
the whole point, was that I was saying I have one side that looks better than the other. And then
Right.
you just, apropos of
That
nothing.
is what he was saying. He was talking about he was talking about sides
when
of
you
his head.
when you
Apropos
did
of
this
nothing,
in front
you
of the
were like,
camera, you were like, "Look here." and
Your
then
forehead's
you
just
went
really big
straight
on camera.
yeah.
It did. Well,
That's like someone going like,
Big
dude, one
time.
of my eyes is like, is a different color than the other one. You're going like,
yeah, but
your nose is just huge.
Yeah, they're really far apart
Right.
too.
But we
That's
talked about-
crazy.
we talked
That's
about the difference
insane.
between saying that to a stranger and saying it to people that are closest to me.
Yeah, but what is
So
what
it's
is the
okay to be
reason-
mean to people that you're close to, but
It's
not,
not
strangers?
mean,
Dude, I'm sweating like crazy.
because
Yeah,
you
it's
know
okay.
that
Do
I
you wanna turn
love
the AC
you.
up?
I don't
It
understand.
is. It's on.
It's
Oh, it's
blasting.
on 75. I can turn it down. What? You don't understand?
It's fine. I
Oh
get
my
it.
God.
No.
Do you have a
get it.
comment section at this underneath wherever this will be?
Yes.
Probably.
Camera's there, dude.
Yeah, I looked at the screen.
Yeah.
Also,
you
your
do that.
sunglasses on. Look wherever you want, dude.
He think well, I have to look. They can't see my
He
eye.
thinks what,
What?
dude?
He doesn't understand why saying to him, you go ahead and say what he said to you real quick.
Wait, can we pause for a second?
Okay,
Let me tell you
pause.
what, I do get it. It doesn't mean that I
Okay.
agree with it. though.
Now that many people are going to weigh in, he says he does get it.
Wait, but of course
You
I
said
am.
you
I'm
didn't-
fucking stupid. Of
You
course
were.
I get
That's
it.
why we said you're playing stupid, because you said you didn't understand.
You literally
No,
said
I
I
didn't-
don't get
You
it.
literally said I don't get it.
That's
word
what
for
you
word.
said.
No, don't gang up on me. Listen,
Okay.
that's not
stupid
no.
shit.
This is God damn it, dude. What I'm saying is, obviously, I understand where it could be seen as something that is mean or derogatory.
I'm sorry. Did the beginning of that
But
sentence say "I said"? Because you did not say
You
that.
didn't say that.
I inferred.
No, you
No, but
didn't.
you should know
You
better. Is what I'm
literally-
saying.
Wait, we should know better when you say I don't understand that you do understand?
No.
No sense.
What I'm saying is, you should both know better that when I make a comment like that to you,
Yeah.
you know that I love you. Know that I don't think it as like, oh, dude, you're fat, or would I fucking care? It
Right.
doesn't matter. So when I say it's because
It matters to
I have
Can I? Okay, well
fuck
then, when
space,
you
dude.
said that, what did you think I was gonna say? When you said, "I wish I had a fatter face like you," what did you think that I was
Okay.
gonna say?
Let's try this
that.
over again.
Yeah.
From my heart,
Right. Yeah.
I wish that I had a fatter face like you. Now listen. but listen.
Can you find another way to
Yes.
say it?
Oh, yes. This is where I agree with you. I could have found another way. But from my heart, it was said,
Crying.
I wish that I
he
had
could-
a fatter face than you. Now, here's what you didn't
Yeah.
see. When I said fatter face, it included the beard that thickens up your jaw.
Yeah.
I
You're
wish I
adding
had
that now,
Well,
but that's fine.
Look at what I
The
know
whole
for sure.
point-
Wait, stop. What I know for sure is I'm not great with words sometimes. Yeah. And sometimes I don't have great descriptions to give, even though I think and feel something.
But
And
you know
sometimes
how
it
to
goes
talk
straight
to
from
people.
And something goes straight from my heart.
But you know
out
how
of
to
my
have a
mouth.
conversation with someone.
You're right. I
For
do.
sure.
But when I see you,
Right.
I just say the thing that comes from my heart.
Hold
straight out of my
on. You
mouth.
do sometimes pick and choose which thoughts come out of your mouth, though.
Not often, but sometimes.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's say we're at
All right,
home with
look-
mom and
look,
dad.
This is a win because he came full circle.
Yeah, in a
He
way.
he understands.
It
He
doesn't
admitted
feel
it.
like
Yeah,
he
but it
did,
almost hurts me
but
that you
you're
think
probably
I would. Like,
right.
I'm not so unaware.
Dude, that's why we both tapped out of the conversation because we're like, there's no way we don't believe you that
Yeah.
you don't understand. Because
You
you're literally
obvi-
saying I don't
And that
understand.
hurts me. I guess that hurts me. That you think I would be so unaware of how else I could have said
We
it.
You
did it.
said
Or that
I
you-
don't get it.
We
The
literally
part I
didn't
didn't
think
get
we didn't
is
believe
why
you.
you were upset about it coming from me.
Because it
That's
doesn't
the
matter
part
who
I
it
didn't
comes
get.
from. If someone says
I disagree.
fatter
No, no,
like
no,
you,
No.
it's not
I didn't
nice.
say fatter like you.
You said fatter face
I wish
like
I had
you.
a fatter face like you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
Yes.
I'm just.
And as we talked about earlier, I have a little button pusher in me.
Yeah.
Did I know I was getting ready? Yes.
Yeah.
Because why? Because you thought for a little bit you were a little chubby.
This is.
and we have this whole fitness thing going on.
You're
the whole
admitting
G-League
this
joke.
now.
Yeah.
No,
But this
But
wasn't a
of
bit you were doing
course.
earlier. You were dead serious. You dug your heels in.
No, I guess
We
maybe I
didn't
was
know you were doing a bit.
misunderstood. I feel misunderstood. But that's fair. I think a part of this relationship is that I am misunderstood and you guys gang up on me a lot. And that's fine. It's partly why I love it.
But
It's why I love
Taylor,
you.
this
But
is
I have
important
to accept
that you
sometimes-
understand we're not ganging up on you.
No.
You
We're just repeating
you
what
created
said
a
back to me.
wild
Oh,
premise
dude.
that we were
Without
not
the
buying.
context, though.
Yeah.
You repeated what I said, but then you took it completely out of context and was like, "Do you see why you can't just say this to people?" And I agree.
How
with
is
you.
it
Yeah,
out of
obviously not.
context?
We weren't even talking about
You shouldn't
anything,
even
and you
say it to
said-
your brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's cute, and we can get away with it because we're brothers.
It's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
have that type
sorry,
of
sorry.
relationship.
Going back to when you said it, when
Can we
as you
move
were saying it,
past the thing?
we don't have to talk about it anymore.
Can I tell you
But-
a trauma that I have that someone said to me 10 years ago?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Were they your brother?
No, we
Continue
all
that.
know him.
Who was it? Oh yeah,
I won't say his first name. Just
one of
'cause
our
whatever.
junior high and high school best friends.
He said to me, I was walking out of our house in Morgan Hill. He came to hang out with me. And he said, well, something I don't know because your giant ass face.
Yeah.
And I think about it probably once a week to this day. 10 years, dude.
Yeah. And it wasn't specifically that you have a big head.
No, he was just saying you have a giant ass face. And he said it not in a nice way. Like, I was like, oh, a giant face? Like, I don't, yeah, I mean, he's right. But, like,
Right.
also, don't say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
That stuck with me for 10 years. I haven't forgot. And for him, it was just an offhand comment. So that's why you
Right.
don't say
You
those
think
things to
that,
people.
like when he said that though, like he was upset at you for something?
No.
Like or like maybe like you know like negging, like that guys do with girls sometimes, where it's like you like kind of say something mean because you want them to like you. Does that have anything to do with it?
I don't know.
Or
No.
no. Like if I had a friend that like in high school that I thought was way more attractive than me,
Yeah.
I'd like try
You
to
bring
like,
him down to your
yeah,
level.
you like gotta try to bring him down
Right.
to your level a little bit.
Right.
Is that what that is?
Him to meet
Like
his
maybe
level?
he thought you were more attractive than him, and
no.
he was trying to like
No, I
bring
don't
you
think
down.
so. No, I think he just has a habit of saying,
The wrong thing.
yeah, he's like got a
That's
bad.
possible.
Like, dude, he's a doctor, and he says to his patients, he'll literally say, like, I don't even know. He's a physical therapist, and he'll say to his patients, like, they'll ask him a question, he'll be like, I don't even know if the bicep's real. So, like,
I don't know if the bicep is
well,
real.
no, in his defense, sorry, this is public, I shouldn't say that. In his defense,
Right.
I think it's genius that he says that. His
Right.
whole approach is like, he's open as fuck and questions everything so he can get to the truth
Right.
and be a better doctor.
What
So
do
it's
you think
amazing.
he means when he says that?
But like I was like, but you got to pick and choose who you say that to. He's saying like placebo. We don't know what really works. If it works, it works.
Right.
Like sometimes the science isn't even like important.
How do you feel about like
sometimes?
like hiding things that like here's what I'll tell you when I hear this is like, for example, in the example that we talked about earlier when I said you had a fatter face, to me it was a compliment. Like it's what I want. I want that. Now to you, maybe you feel differently about it, and don't say faggot. Fat's like a big shame word, and I get when people use it in that context, it's shameful, and you shouldn't use it to put someone down. The irony is, to me, it was like I genuinely wish that I had a fatter face.
right.
And fat to me wasn't just like
But even
fat
now, when
hanging
you're
from
saying
your
it, like
face.
you know that fat's the wrong word to say with it.
Yeah.
So like, can you just say like a larger
Yeah,
or like
larger,
rounder?
thicker. Yeah, I could
like fuller
I could've.
face.
I could have.
Fuller's probably the best
Fuller's the best.
out of all of them.
I would agree.
A more full
I agree.
face. That's
agree.
less like a
And
cancerous
I'm gonna look like
fox.
an asshole now, and I think that that's fair.
Yes.
But I think these are the things that like no one would talk about, but I'm okay to talk about it because we have a special relationship. I think that's okay.
Absolutely.
And we have an anything goes relationship, do we not?
In a lot
Yeah,
of
but you still
ways.
got to take into consideration that people have feelings.
And I do.
Well,
I wasn't offended by you saying it.
so much as shocked.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah, I wasn't offended either. I know what I look like,
Right.
but I was just shocked.
right.
It's
Yeah.
like I wouldn't like even to you. I wouldn't. I don't know. I
Maybe
would-
there's like a little bit of me that like wants to get away with that
my
stuff, and I know.
yeah,
I can
my
with
feelings
God.
aren't hurt.
Yeah,
at all.
obviously not.
But
which
it's
is
not.
why I feel comfortable.
But it's
to
like
say
it's not a
something like that.
nice thing to say,
Right, and which is probably why I said it.
Like if I call you a tall fuck, that's different. You know, like commenting on. It's like kind of like saying you handsome fuck or something like that. But like
You chicken legged.
I wouldn't for fun just go like you rat faced
Right,
chicken.
right,
You're
You
probably not.
right. But then when you said to me after that my face looked like a sick fox.
Yeah.
He's just getting you back.
Yeah. That
Right.
was that was a razz.
There's retaliation.
But that's
Fine.
okay. So it's okay when you retaliate.
Of course.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Then that just proves my point.
Two wrongs make it right.
Well, okay, maybe it's not the
It's
most
fine.
grown up thing to do,
Yeah.
but
You started
the
it.
conversation immediately felt very not grown up.
I hate
right,
the
it
it
started.
doesn't matter who started it thing. That's bullshit.
It is kind
It
of bullshit.
absolutely matters who started it.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you mean?
Like growing up in school or whatever, they'd be like, I don't care who started it. Like stop fighting or whatever. Or stop
Yeah,
the name
that's
calling or
fair.
something.
Yeah.
You
It's
gotta
like,
get down to the
no,
bottom of it.
I
Yeah,
don't give a
you're-
shit.
Exactly. You're wrong.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
It matters.
100%
This whole
matters
thing
who
wouldn't have
started it.
happened if they didn't start it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't
100%.
walking around insulting people or being mean or bullying. He started it.
Do you think it's maybe supposed to be like a preparing you for like later on in life, like when countries go to war or something like that? And it's like, oh, he started it. It's like it doesn't matter. We're at war. What
They're probably
matters
not
is that
preparing
we're
you
at
for
war.
war.
Yeah, that might be a reach. for
They
sure.
might be like, oh no, I don't know, like kind of like, well, you shouldn't have been in that dangerous place with those dangerous people if you didn't want to get in trouble.
That's the worst.
Like that's on you.
I hate that rationale so bad. But yeah,
well, part of
they
it's
try to
true.
use
They're
it.
saying like, you know, you are responsible for like the situations you're in. But also like if you go to court and like you beat the shit out of someone, but it was self-defense, like they were trying to kill you, that holds up, right?
Yeah, totally does.
So it does matter who started it.
That
Yeah.
actually defines it mattering who started it.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't like that they say that.
I also don't like that they say that.
To be fair, I feel like you never share your feelings. Like I never know how you really feel about anything.
You just gotta ask me.
No, dude.
He's been more feeling sherry lately.
Yeah, I've been really good about
Lately.
it. For sure.
But I mean, most of our lives.
we used to always go, "Up, Grant can never be serious,"
Yeah.
and he knew that it was like a thing that would make me upset.
I do feel like, I mean, okay, let's put it this way. We come from the same DNA. I feel like I'm a very sensitive kid.
Yep. Am I
In the
slouching
world.
too much again?
I mean, it's not ideal. But
Okay. I'll try sitting up for a minute. I'll try just being with you guys.
yeah, dude.
I do look
Just your-
really just lethargic.
Your
this whole time.
giant knees and
There we
waist.
go.
I just want to state, because I'm insecure about it, I'm wearing sunglasses because this light is so bright it gives me anxiety and this makes me feel safe.
Okay, that's fair.
That's fair.
Thanks.
Sunglasses make me feel high.
I know.
Really high.
So you shouldn't wear them.
I don't wear them.
Like if I go like this, oh, it's too much.
It's
It's
a
too
lot. I know, and
stimulating.
you're already used to it.
It's
What do you
overstimulating.
what do volleyball players listen to?
What does that mean?
Like what kind of music do they
Oh,
listen
great question.
to?
Dude, this is great now. I'll tell you what.
We never circled back
In the
to my
weight-
question.
Forget your
Yeah,
question.
like what do you guys listen to in the weight room?
The weight room. We have like giant speakers. Dude, I have the biggest problem with this. What do I want to listen to?
Dance
Yes,
music.
it's all about me. No.
What?
Well, yes, I'm down with whatever.
for sure.
A lot of times, like, we hear, what do I hear the most in the gym? Like top 40, just like,
Right.
like the same.
Is that Starships were meant to fly?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the
yeah,
song.
That song. It's a great song.
Yeah, it's a great song. But like, or like, I wanna dance. Let me just like that kind of
Yeah,
shit.
like what you're doing right now makes me want to work out.
Yeah, well, it should.
But
listen, the
if I'm not in the mood for top 40, I don't want to hear
But
it.
here's the difference: is like it's almost like that's all anyone will ever play, and so
Right.
I now associate just like the most outdated, like so hit, but we've listened to it so much that I just hate
Right.
it. So I'm
Are you
always
not allowed to wear headphones?
It's just so loud. I mean, no, and also I don't like wearing headphones when I work out. I like hearing the things that I'm interacting with personally.
I kind of feel that.
But I am constantly like, let's play play right now. Like, what are your last 10 liked songs? Like, play a genre from that, or like, what would you play if you were driving home right now?
Are you asking me, or I want to know them?
I'm saying
I want to
it
know
out.
your
I'm saying
guys.
this to the team and to people where it's like,
What do you think?
What are other things guys play? Eminem, like old Eminem, you know, like all that kind of stuff.
Like, what do you think Matt Anderson listens to? Can I say his name?
Sure, yeah.
Cool, because he's been on the podcast.
Yeah, he has.
So that'd be insane.
Well, yeah.
If I couldn't say his name.
No, you can say whoever's.
Can I say something can I do a Taylor real quick?
Yeah, big time.
It's going to seem like insulting.
Okay.
But it's not. It's really just for the discourse of it. I'm curious. Asking what kind of music anyone listens to is like the most boring question I can think of.
That's
to me.
fair.
It's so uninteresting to me. I literally don't care.
Say it again. I don't understand.
Asking the question about any group of people or any person, with very few exceptions, is maybe the most boring thing. Like, I'm just not interested. As soon as he asked, what do volleyball players listen to? I just was like, I'm bored. I tuned out.
I understand.
Because it doesn't matter what the answer is. I'm bored. I don't
this
care.
This isn't a guy on the street on TikTok going up to someone going, what song are you listening to right now? You're right. That's boring as shit. I'm talking about an aggregate group of people who do a very specific thing that his fan base likes. Wouldn't they kind of want to know?
Are you actually interested in the answer, though?
Yes.
What would be? Tell me what an interesting answer would be.
Splitting the atom with this question.
No, I know, but tell me what an interesting, like a satisfying answer you'd get would be.
What if they said we just listen to podcasts? That would be crazy. What?
No, that's not crazy because that's my answer.
I know it is because you're insane. You're the only one that listens to podcasts.
No, but in my mind, it's just like everyone listens to everything, and so I don't care.
Yes.
The most interesting answer I could think of is still so boring. Yeah. And that would be like I listened to fucking.
I knew this was coming.
I listened to strictly metal.
This is us trying to navigate just like having a conversation, going down rabbit holes, and also recognizing that the people listening to this don't really care.
That wasn't a dig on your question.
Right.
This is because I actually am curious if you care or you were just lobbing him a cool
You were
content
lobbing. You were partly lobbing.
No, I kind of want to know.
You were lobbying.
So like what percentage?
But it was a lob.
What percentage do you want to know and what percentage was a lob?
65. The other percentage. I can't do that.
35.
35?
Yeah.
65, 35.
So 65 a lob.
Yeah, think so.
Okay, that's still more interested in that question.
No. 65% I wanted to know. That's a lie.
Really? No. 65 was a
It was
lob.
kind of a lob. That's fine. I like a lob. But you answered it.
Oh, here we go. Like we have country, like when we're on the road, we have country Sundays. We have, maybe you can help us come up
That's cool to know. For all of the people that want
listen,
to know.
we have
more
Michael,
interesting.
Stop. Michael, stop. We'll continue. Aloha Fridays.
Yeah. Is that vintage Hawaiian magic?
I wish. Hawaiian magic.
Wait, that's what it's called.
Is it?
Do you want to like turn people on to the greatest playlist of all time?
It is the greatest playlist of all time.
By far the greatest.
I thought it was just vintage Hawaiian music.
No, vintage Hawaiian magic
on Spotify.
I have shared that with so many people.
It's the best. Hannah showed it to us originally.
It was from Hannah?
Yeah.
Dude, I can
find.
think of 10 people that I've showed it to right now that like love that.
Are you guys' like knee pits just soaking wet?
Yeah, mine are pretty wet.
Mine are chill.
Okay.
That's why I'm wearing pants.
Are you still trying to get off talking about music?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
And then we have the Holdup Thursdays.
I really don't care.
Would you
Nah,
have that?
That would be the worst.
No,
That'd be terrible.
That'd be pretty fun.
Especially because I'm not getting paid for it.
Keep lobbing me No, you lob me something.
Can it be a music question?
No, it's fine. I mean, I had two questions.
Okay.
That are actually interesting.
Okay.
That's a dig.
No, that's not what I meant.
How is that not a dig?
What I meant was I'm not gonna troll you right now. I have actually two serious questions.
And ask them,
not
dude.
actually interesting compared
Ask
to yours.
them, Michael.
One was, and you picked the order in which we answer them. One was,
Just do one at a time.
I want like a highlight reel of like freakouts, like who would get more mad or upset if someone pranked or like told on the other one
Let's just
growing
stop.
up.
Don't do the two things
as kids.
Say the question. Pitch the one question.
Okay, sorry, it is your podcast. You can control it.
Okay, just pitch the questions. Like you were
not
gonna
a
say
question.
them both, and then eventually say the
you could
first
just stop
one.
and answer the first one.
Well, I need to hear it again. Short term.
Because you were listening. Because the whole time you were just like, I can't wait to fucking
yes,
get
exactly.
at you right
yes,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
Who would get like more mad, and what was it like when like someone fucked with the other one growing up as kids?
I mean,
like
it's by
hands
far
down.
the answer is me.
And what does that look like?
Oh my god.
Like, give me an example
Taylor,
of something that
like,
happened.
Taylor, you never really got mad
No.
at all. You knew
'Cause you
you
couldn't
had
hurt
this. You had the Zen motorcycle approach from the beginning.
Zen motorcycle.
Zen in the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. I'm proud of you, buddy. You know
Yeah,
that book.
I know.
That's pretty good.
You had that approach, which was like, you knew that I had a pretty hot head, and you're like, if I can just stay underneath the heat, I can
Let me
cook the chicken all day.
Let me pause you for a second. What's so amazing is you float in your normal existence with like you would never know that Grant gets angry,
No.
but you had a really short fuse.
I think it's still there, and I just haven't seen it in a really long time.
Your life has just been so good.
Yeah,
for a
life has
while.
been good for a while.
So you
I
haven't
think
gotten
that,
there.
yeah, I haven't like really freaked out. In a
We'll see
while.
what happens at these shows.
No, it'll be fine.
We don't have long enough
No,
on
not
the
nearly
road.
long enough. You've seen
But
me get pretty mad.
I've seen you at your most angry.
Yeah.
I've seen you
Well,
kick
No,
kick
not
a
the
vehicle.
most angry.
What's the
He's
most
seen me at the most angry.
What's the most angry you've ever been?
But like, but past the most, like just irrational.
This is what I'm looking
Yeah,
for.
for sure. This is like
Explain.
I don't remember a lot of the like exactly what set it off, but the throwing the metal rod thing was pretty nuts.
Wait. You threw the metal rod?
Yeah.
Dude, this
And
is
that
the-
would have killed him, impaled him.
Yeah, it would.
Oh my
dude,
God, I'll never
for
forget
sure.
it, dude.
It was a. You, I don't. Do you remember what we were fighting
Yeah.
about?
Oh no, I don't remember what we were fighting about.
No, I
but
remember what it was.
I kind of
though.
remember it being at night, but maybe it wasn't at night.
It was a night with the lights on.
Mom and Dad might have actually been home,
Yeah, they were.
and you and I were fighting in the living or in the hallway probably.
Yeah,
and to
between our
set the
two
scene, we
rooms.
just have like a basic house, living room, kitchen, hallway with like 4 rooms, 6 rooms.
Yeah, it's a house.
Okay. Just so
Sorry.
And we're rolling on the floor, pushing each other.
Yeah.
What I don't really remember, but I remember like holding you down, and you would reach a point where like it was no more just us wrestling, where I really felt like you were
Like,
you
I
were
was going-
fucking mad,
I
and you
wanted to kill
really
you.
wanted to kill me.
For sure, yeah.
And then I would do this thing where I'd hold you down, kind of like, when are you gonna stop? Because I'm afraid if I let you go, you're gonna fuck me up. dude.
Exactly. Like, we have to stay here until
You've gone down,
until
dude.
you relax.
Until
a
I know
little
my
bit.
life is not in
Exactly.
danger.
Dude, and I let him go, and I don't remember. I let him go, ran behind the door, and held the door back, so
Yeah,
he couldn't
you
get
had-
in.
We didn't have locks.
And
on
at
our
that
doors.
point, you grabbed a metal rod, and now that I think about it, I
No,
feel
no,
like
no.
Dude,
It
this
wasn't
is
that. It was.
insane.
I had like an IKEA dresser.
yeah,
shelf thing.
that's what it is.
I ripped off like one of the like things that was connecting it. It was like this metal rod, and I was just kicking on the door, waiting for him to open the door. I don't even know what I was gonna do with it. I just knew I had this killer object,
killer.
a killer object, and the second that you opened the door, I was gonna do something. And so you knew that
And
I had it somehow.
I did not know that you had it. At least how I remember it. I remember it like I would peek my head out to see where you were, because you'd be like trying to get in, and then it would stop, and I'd like peek my head out to see if it was safe. And I remember peeking out like half my body, and all of a sudden Grant just like pops out, and he has this rod, and he goes boom, and he chucks it straight at me, and I swing the door all the way open, dude, and this thing goes straight past me and in through the back of a guitar, like through the
Like an
strings,
acoustic
throughout
guitar.
the back.
It
of
goes
an
right
acoustic
through the
guitar.
little hole in the strings and just sticks in and makes that like cartoon arrow sound. It just goes.
Do you think it would have broke his skin?
Yeah, it would have for sure. Like
It would
it'd
have
be
fucked
in his
me up.
body.
Yeah,
It was sharp as shit.
It would have changed your life.
I had just yeah.
yeah,
It would have changed your life.
yeah. It would have
It
changed.
would have
wouldn't be
changed
here
both
doing
of your
this.
lives, dude.
Indeed.
Oh my God, that's
No,
insane
I
that
know.
you did that.
It was crazy.
Were you surprised at yourself?
Yeah, and when I was doing it, I was like, if you throw this, like, it's gonna be different. Like, things are gonna be different.
But I mean,
for you
post.
after
After it impaled the guitar, did clarity
Yeah,
happen?
and-
Where you
but
were like,
the clarity.
Whoa.
I got the post nut clarity hard there, but I think I had like, when you just have to commit to how angry. Maybe
Yeah.
you guys don't know this.
No, I kind of
but
know.
I've definitely lived enough as an
like
angry
where you're
person to know-
embarrassed a little bit.
Yes, you're like I've definitely left rational world here.
Yeah.
And I'm existing where I know that I'm wrong.
You can't just swing back or else
No,
you're insane.
but I can't. Yeah, I can't just go back to like, oh, like sorry. Like
Yeah.
sorry's on the other side of the world right now. Like I can't go back to sorry. I have to just
Yeah.
commit to, like, it's like talking to remember the talking to a homeless person thing. The only way to like win a conversation with a homeless person is to out crazy them.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. That's a obscure
movie.
reference.
That's
What
how
is that?
that's how I felt. That's how I felt in fighting.
Thing.
If I ever got in a fight, I would just try to out crazy,
Yeah, exactly.
or like just go so absurdly
But
in my
the
own
only
world.
way that it works,
I've done that
is
and
if
it
you
worked.
fully commit to living
character.
in that world.
Right.
So yeah, I get there. I don't get there very often.
Did
but I've gotten
your
there.
parents I mean, your dad obviously must have found out about the guitar.
He saw it.
Yeah. Also,
version of
Could you like not wait to tell him?
Yeah.
Grant threw a fucking rod and it went through the guitar and like
no,
almost
I
killed
don't
me.
think I was that way. I don't remember being like a telly person because
No,
I
but
also
you-
was a part of it.
You definitely you were scared.
Yeah, at
For
that
sure.
point I was probably
Yeah,
scared.
you're pretty,
But you had that, yeah. Grant had the pop off when he reached pop off stage. I was scared. I was
Yeah,
like,
big
dude,
time.
I don't trust you. I
Mhm.
don't trust that you won't kill me.
Yeah.
But I
You
think
know?
I don't think I'm a serial killer, or like capable
That's
of being
good.
a serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that in getting there, I've seen that side and went like.
Does it help? Did you empathize
That's-
with serial killers?
That's
in
what made
some
you
way?
That's what
avoid
makes me
being
not
a serial killer. Was when you threw the.
Well, like
Knowing you never could really go through with it.
yeah, like and then now thinking about like if that would have actually physically.
It was like
hurt
a. It was like
Like-
glimpse. You got a glimpse. It's like that movie. Family Man with Nicolas Cage and Don Cheadle
Hmm.
and Tay Leone. You never seen it?
Who
I
else
mean,
is
I've
in it,
probably
Mike?
Or is it Tay Leone? Tay Leone.
Don't actually say.
No, I gotta be able to pull one.
No, please don't.
I don't know a single other
The
actor.
only
in it.
other time I remember, like, when we think about our childhood fights, is when we were at church and you tried to high kick me, and I grabbed.
because my shoulder is now.
Yeah, but
fucked
we
up
were
forever?
actually fighting, and
Yeah.
you tried to kick me, and right when you kicked me in my ribs, I grabbed your foot and I
Right.
swooped out the other,
Yeah,
which I'd never done that move before,
it worked.
and it worked. And you still
For
have a
sure.
bump on your
Yeah,
shoulder
I have
because of it,
Like it, I never got it reset.
Like a
So
bone
it's just
spur?
like
yeah.
a lump. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a. I think Grandma used to tell me it was
Yeah.
a calcium buildup.
Mm.
I'm interested to know how much of our parents, like when you look at mom and dad, are you just like, oh, I'm definitely dad in this or mom in this? Because like the older I get, I'm like, I think I have mom. I think we both have our parents' chillness.
Yeah.
I also think I'm much more like mom and you're much more like dad.
Oh my God! You both have your parents' chillness. You have your dad's temper,
For sure.
and you have your mom's other thing.
Aloofness.
Fox face.
Fox face. Yeah. A little bit. Actually, you do look a little more like mom than I do.
Yeah.
I feel like I look more like dad.
Your mom was into the Enneagram thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I like it too now.
Yeah. Have you done it?
I wish I could sit and talk
Wait.
with her
Do you
about
know
it.
what your number is?
Yeah,
Let's all
easily-
say it at the same
easily.
time. Let's say it at the same time.
Oh my God! I wonder if you and I are the same.
I wondered too. Mike and I notoriously have a lot of similarities.
I mean,
but-
based off of the title alone, you guys are the same thing.
Okay, wait. Just do,
Sorry.
for those of you who don't know the Enneagram, check it out if you want on like Wikipedia or something.
We're
It
gonna all
is kind
say.
of some basic.
Here's the
bitch
thing.
shit, but
I listened
like
to a
it. Yeah, I mean,
90-minute podcast about it. It was actually 2 45-minute podcasts, episode 1 and 2. And the lady that was the guest she was Christian, and I think that she studied with the Enneagram thing. It was somehow linked to her
It was
religion or whatever.
created by Christians, wasn't it?
I don't know about that, but I know it's really popular amongst the Christian community. And she said that the online tests are kind of bullshit. Like, it's really hard to get an accurate reading. You kind of have to work with someone who studied it because it's been around for a long.
Sure.
Well, she explained it, and I totally get it. It made sense. It didn't seem like bullshit. She wasn't selling her service.
When I got mine, I was like, "This makes sense."
Yeah, agreed.
I
Yeah.
didn't like it, but it
I
made
also
sense.
didn't like mine.
Mine, she was going through all of them, and I was like,
1, 2, 3, 8.
4. What?
Oh, you're doing
What?
the thing? 7.
You're an
You're a
8?
helper. That's what that 4 is, right? Helper.
No, 4 is
No.
artist.
No.
4 is
8
what dad is.
8 is a helper.
No, 8's a challenger.
8's a challenger.
Wait, 9's a
I'm a
helper.
Dodge Challenger.
No. 2's a helper.
9's a peacemaker, which is what our mom is.
My mom is a 9.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Go ahead.
It's a motherly number.
You're okay. No, I'm a 4.
That's
Yeah. Because you're
interesting.
tortured.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. This lady said 4s are envious of other people's ability to be comfortable, like just feel normal in the world. And I was like, oh, okay, yep. And then she was like, having a relationship is the most important thing to you in the world. And I was like, yep, dead ringer. And then she was like, fuck, I can't remember the other ones.
I don't remember
But
the
she
first
said
4s.
that being 4s are being 4s and I think 7s are the 2 hardest ones to be. She said I would not want to be a 4 or 7. They're the hardest thing to exist
I
as.
feel like being a 7 kind of.
What was a 7?
Enthusiast.
4s and 7s
Which
are the
means
most
what?
prone to addiction, I think.
Oh
That's
yeah, that totally
hilarious.
makes sense.
That's hilarious because I think I've always said I think I have an insanely addictive personality.
And you're a
Yeah.
8.
8, and
Yeah.
I don't really
But-
know what they are. We could pull
I don't
one
think-
up. We don't need to. but-
I don't know. your drive for seeking
I like
stimulants is more like just a pleasure thing, not avoiding pain.
right.
I think for us, it's avoiding pain.
That's interesting. I would
We're
agree with
using it
that.
as an escape
That's a really great way
because
to
we
put
just
that.
don't want to feel uncomfortable. So ours is more dangerous.
Which is so crazy because knowing both of you, it, like especially knowing you, like it just surprises me so much
what?
to hear that either of you are uncomfortable in any sort of social situation.
Yeah, it's well.
Like even people
Having-
who don't know you, just hearing you on this podcast could probably tell by the tone of your voice that you don't have a problem talking or being honest or being. I
But
don't
being
understand.
hyperverbal, the skill of like being hyperverbal is different than an internal experience.
100. I mean, of course it is, but
You know?
that's why it's a surprise. That's
Yeah.
why I'm surprised.
I mean, one of the most common things you hear about people who commit suicide is like, I never would have guessed it. They were the life of the party. They were the
100%.
most enthusiastic, like whatever people.
Uncle John, dude.
well,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a gnarly one.
yeah.
And that's not to say that those people are often the ones who commit suicide. It's just like someone's outer appearance can a lot of times give you zero information about what their experience is like internally.
For sure.
Yeah, and why do you why aren't people talking about it more?
That's incredible. Oh my god.
I-
said it,
dude,
No,
all I do is talk about it.
Well,
I have a podcast where that's all I
thank
talk
you.
about.
I was lofting you a little bit of a situation, but I also
Lofting or lobbing?
lofting.
Lobbing.
I lofted it.
No.
It's a volleyball term.
Lobbing.
That's a volleyball term for sure.
Well, a loft.
What's
is,
a loft?
A loft is where you sleep up above.
Yeah, so that has nothing to do with it. A
So if
lob
I
is with like
loft-
something
for
thrown,
yourself right
something
now.
softly.
Okay. Well, why would they call it a loft? Because it's up above. And if I throw you something that's up above, it's lofting.
No, a lob is a soft throw.
Yeah.
It's like an easy catch.
So what is a loft?
It's a place
Something
where you.
that's- Yeah, it's above.
It's like a sleep.
So if I threw it up,
Has
how is that
What
not
is-
lofting? If
It's
it's
like
above.
saying, I don't want to follow this too far.
I don't either, but we can both. we
It's
can
just-
all
no,
agree-
no, but just hold on.
No, we can all agree that we know what lobbing is.
Yeah.
I also
Yeah.
think lofting works. I'm not saying it's the correct way to use it. I just didn't
yeah,
think it
yeah,
was
but
that
here's the
bad.
thing. Let me break it down very simply for you. The reason that lobbing is used for that is because a lob is an easy catch.
Right.
Loft has nothing to do with something
No,
being
loft
easy.
is somewhere that you sleep.
It's
Agree
just a
we move on.
place.
Agree we move on.
Exactly.
It's just a place.
Agree we move on.
But the whole purpose, I can't
Oh,
let
you
it
just
go.
let
It's
it
so
go, for
obvious. I
sure.
did it. I won in my mind.
Yeah, big
Right.
time.
I won.
I also think you
Right,
won
but
by
that's
that.
like a big quality of an 8, dude, having to win.
Yeah,
Or
but
being
I'm not an 8.
argumentative.
I'm not an 8.
Well, we don't know that for sure, but
No, I'm a 4. I'm guaranteed I'm a
Alright,
4.
alright,
Yeah, 4 actually makes a lot of sense.
I'm gonna think about the other things that she said.
That's okay.
Also,
Okay, but-
your number can show up in healthy ways and unhealthy ways, and they look very different.
right, and then you have wings and shit. My
Yeah,
parents
yeah.
are so into it.
It's sick,
Yeah,
dude. I'm
mom's really
sold.
into
I
it.
love
It's
it.
cool, but
I
I
love
just don't. The problem is, then it just gives people more labels to be like, oh, you're just like, dude, mom would say that all the time. Like, that's because you're an 8. She
Yeah,
was
well, it's
right.
helpful.
Oh my God.
It's helpful to have like
I
a
get it.
view
It's
to
helpful have a
understand the
guide.
world.
Sure.
Yeah, but anything is a double-edged sword.
Right.
Everything is good and
Can I
bad.
say something? As someone like you, who I feel like is into like I don't know, growing and maybe spirituality and
Yeah,
caring.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay. I've been working with this new therapist, and I absolutely love his approach. It's way different than anything I've ever done in my life. And then the other day, I was like, why am I doing this? Because the more I see people who, and I'm not like completely just like batting on religion but people to me who are just like, and I don't want to use the word delusional here, but how I see the word delusional is just like, you know, those characters you have or as friends or people who just like, they're so unaware. They seem to be so unaware of certain things.
Right.
Sometimes I wish like, God, I wish I was delusional. And I've said that to you before and I don't really mean it, but I was doing all
Well, they
this work
say-
with my therapist now. And I'm like, wait, actually, why am I doing this? Like, if there's no real point, then like, why am I digging this hard? Because it's like emotionally very draining.
Well, wasn't there a point?
I mean, I care. That's enough for me to do it. You know, like there's enough reason for me to do it.
Isn't
for
that your
myself.
answer then?
Yes, but I just mean I can't help but feel like constantly, God, I wish I was more delusional. It just seems like life would be so
Wait,
much
why?
simpler.
Why do you want to be delusional?
Because I feel like life would be more simple. It would stop my brain from having to figure things out all the time.
I think that actually this isn't an opinion. This is just me trying to make sense of an answer to your question. Or not? You didn't even have a question, but the scenarios in which people are blissfully ignorant all the way through to the end are probably few and far between. I think there's probably a lot of people who are delusional and uneducated, and then life gets fucking real, and they don't have the tools. They're not equipped to handle it. And so they're even more fucked than like people who are seekers and hyper aware of both the good and bad ends of the spectrum. But then when shit gets real in their life, they're more equipped to handle it. So that like delusional, that blissfully ignorant thing that you like kind of wish you had may not be. It just seems like what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's probably pretty uncommon.
I think there's people that probably think that you are that.
We know dumb people
in some way too.
that suffer because they're dumb.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean?
Like in what way?
Oh, because they don't know how to. They do dumb shit,
Yeah, they
and
do
it
dumb shit all the
perpetuates
time.
their suffering.
Right.
So they're not.
We know one very specific person.
Shut up.
That's incredible.
Actually, we know a couple specific
We
people.
definitely do.
Because
Absolutely.
I thought we were thinking the same person, and then I thought of someone else, and I was like, oh.
I don't know who the other one is, but I definitely know who one of them is for sure. Yeah, there's
Like,
there are
dude,
some-
we were watching.
Do they have a penis?
no.
Oh.
They have a vagina.
I was thinking of a penis one.
Really?
I was too.
And then I
thought-
realized you were talking about a vagina one.
I was thinking of a penis one.
Do you know who the penis one is?
No. Well, yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
People that like it seems like actively choose to make their life more difficult like all the time.
Yeah, but they're not bothered by it. So who cares?
No, they are bothered.
They're super
They're
bothered
suffering.
by it.
Not
For
at least,
sure.
and that's not how I see it in my head. Like
But what I'm
I
saying is
associate it
that
with, like
example probably doesn't exist as much as it seems like it does.
Maybe. But I thought about that for a long time, like with religion. I'm like, dude, if I just believed in something, I wouldn't have to think about the
Like-
thing. And when the bad thing happens, I just, you
Here's
know,
the thing,
like,
Taylor.
Right.
wouldn't
I
that be
actually know
nice?
several examples of people who were delusionally religious. They bought in. It was Christ all the way. And then at the end, they were afraid because they didn't have an actual, like, true belief to their core. I don't think they
That's
went
probably most people.
deep enough.
Yeah.
Most
Like, it
religious
didn't
people.
bring them peace in the end.
Sure, that's probably most religious people.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't think that that's a problem with, and you're not saying that.
What I'm
I
saying
want to
is-
make clear for anyone who's watching, I'm not saying it's a problem with religion. I'm saying
Yeah.
those people went about it in a way that like they didn't dig deep enough. They were just like, oh, this feels good. I'll just take it at face value.
Right. And to your point of like at the very end, it didn't bring them peace.
Mhm.
I think about like, but what did it do for them all the way until the end? Was that like, that sounds like it might be nice.
Yeah, like who cares if they suffered at the end because most of their life
And
was
in the
cool.
same
Yeah,
way
it's
that
gonna
I'm
be
like,
cool
I know
all
that's
the
not
way
it
around.
for me.
I don't know, man. I think that like seeing death right around the corner is probably a pretty insane experience, and I don't want to be terrified of it. I want to like welcome it.
Yeah. Which
I
is
want to be hyped. I want to be hyped.
You want to
for
be
it.
like bringing on.
I want to be
motherfucker?
literally like excited to find out what's on the other side.
Yeah.
My mom said that my uncle Ricky, her uncle Ricky, my great uncle Ricky, he was gay and died of AIDS.
Whoa. That's what your
But-
mom said, or that's what happened?
Like she just didn't fuck with him. She was dissing him, just making up shit. Like that was her
That
insult.
was really good. I'll give you
No,
that.
that's actually what happened. But she said,
Oh my god.
and everyone, like my uncle, my aunt, my mom, everyone, my grandma, he was the coolest man on the planet. I think before he came out, they said that he dated an Egyptian princess. Like he was a world traveling dancer, so he would go to different countries.
That's
Anyway, so that's cool. Whatever. He was highly spiritual, and at the end, they said he was 0% afraid. Sincerely,
How did they
he
know
was-
that?
because he said it.
He said, "I'm 0% afraid."
He was like ready to die. He's like, I can't wait. He was like, I can't wait to see what's on the other side.
That's pretty nuts.
And he was an example of
And you
someone
know
who
what? This
really
is-
believed.
I don't know about you, but that's how I've like reconciled our relationship with our parents.
Right.
Because we're both not Christian, or I'm not Christian, and
I'm definitely not whatever version of Christian they are.
right.
I don't necessarily know what I am.
My point being,
I don't
though-
even. By the way, I don't even know if he was Christian.
Right. By the
Just-
way,
yeah.
everyone listening, relax. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For those of you out there who might be getting fired up, just relax a little bit. That's what I'd say.
About what are they getting fired up
Just
about?
Letting them in on some, there's some things that maybe don't make sense completely, or there's some judgments on that we had, but just relax is all I'm saying.
Are we being judgy?
No. I don't think we are, but they don't know us, so it
They
might
might
seem
think
that way.
we are.
Anyways,
No, we love everyone.
My point is 100%. My point is, I always felt like the reason I really accepted it, because I struggled with feeling like I didn't fit in with Christianity and our parents, really, like that relationship. It took me a long time. And I feel like I reconciled it with that thought also of like, this is what brings them inner peace. And to your point of like, I have a feeling when our parents get to that stage in their life, it'll be more of an acceptance and and that is a beautiful thing. And sometimes I'm like, God, I wish I could just have chosen that, because if I could really buy into something like that, it would probably be a beautiful thing in my life. And to be honest, our parents are amazing people and like have lived a great life.
The more I've been like, I've made a conscious decision in the last few months to like go full steam ahead into that, because I've always been the other direction. I've been more like, most of my life, I was more like post. What's that fucking documentary? Zeitgeist.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like post Zeitgeist Taylor. That was me too.
yeah. For sure.
I was very like, religion is bad and like all this shit's bullshit and like whatever. And that ultimately didn't leave me feeling good in adulthood. Like now that shit's getting real, and I'm like, well, that's clearly not the answer. So I'm going the other direction consciously. And what I'm starting to really believe is it's like, if you wish that you could buy into something like that, I think it literally is just a choice. Like there's no.
The problem is you have to really believe it.
I think it's a choice. I think it's a skill. You can practice belief, and belief becomes real. I don't think it's like you finally. I think you seek that because you want to believe it, and then like confirmation bias happens in a good way. It becomes real.
Yeah, like everything, really.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's like, oh, we don't have proof of Jesus, so that's bullshit.
Right.
I don't think that matters.
Right.
I think you start out faking it. In fact, not to get super nerdy here, but you've heard of Carl Jung?
Mm-hmm.
He was a famous psychologist who studied under Sigmund Freud. He was
an atheist, was he not?
Freud was an atheist.
Right.
Carl Jung was very spiritual. And he wrote a book called, that I haven't read, but I heard someone else talk about it, called Synchronicity. And it's about all these crazy coincidences that happened in his life that led him to become hyper spiritual. And he said that even though he couldn't prove spiritual circumstances or events in his life in a lab, that seeing hundreds of patients, he said there was a stark difference between the recovery of people who had spiritual beliefs and people who didn't. And he said the spiritual beliefs, like, objectively served people better.
I'll tell you what, man. I, in the last like year or so, have started like slowly introducing a form of prayer into my life.
Same.
Just randomly.
Okay, hold on. Let me finish my point. There was the one last bit that tied into what you said.
Okay.
He said, what do you do if you need evidence and you can't? Like, that's the only way for you to believe. He said, you fake it till you make it. He said, that's how you develop spirituality, is you just fake it and then it becomes real.
That
So
makes sense.
that's a really intelligent guy who, like, co-signed that thing, that you don't need evidence. You fake it and it becomes real. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I see
prayer.
that working in that situation
What?
when it comes to religion or like choosing a religion.
That's what we're talking about.
Any kind of spirituality.
Right. I was taking that out of context for other things in my own
Like
life.
what?
I don't know. Never mind. I don't want to go down there.
What he's saying is that even you will reap the benefits of of true belief. What? Where the fuck did that come
I
from?
think you should leave. It's hard not to quote it sometimes.
Oh my god! Wait!
Yeah.
What was that? Wait!
The hot dog sleeve one.
Where he's eating the hot
I'm
dog.
so tired.
Oh, because he can't eat.
I've never been so
I'm just so fucking tired of my life.
Well, for those of you who don't know, I think you should leave Tim Robinson. Probably one of the most life-changing shows I've ever seen.
I mean, it significantly changed like the way I talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many people.
You
Yeah.
know?
I've met other groups of people completely unaffiliated with you guys at all, who sound just like us.
You know.
And what's crazy is for the longest time, I would like, even with Hannah or like Friends, it's like it was a test, and if they didn't think things were funny,
I like that though. I like that.
was
I
like,
like that we
we'll
have
never-
that. You know what?
It's like what Big Lebowski used to be.
Or dude, even Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I feel like Seinfeld is a way to look at the world in a lot of ways. Like either you get that like everything is like everything can be seen Seinfeldianly.
Everything's
or
a
not.
joke.
Yeah, I think we learned very early on because like that was really one of the only shows that we were allowed to watch that wasn't like, I don't know, not Christian television, but like was a secular TV show.
Right.
Dad just always loved Seinfeld.
Right.
I feel like it shaped the way we saw the world in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Where it was like, oh, everything can be kind of funny all the time. And I like that outlook on life.
I completely agree.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I don't like most of the I think you should leave skits, so I don't pass the test.
Well, no one's saying that they're all like hilarious.
No, definitely not.
What I like about the ones that I don't like is I feel like I get the idea. And even the fact that I understand what they were maybe trying to do or that they went so ridiculous, even though I didn't think it was funny, I love that. But I just love also, like, I think comedy writing is, if I didn't have a brother who I thought was, or friends who I thought were so much funnier than me, I'd really pursue it because I just think.
Why wouldn't you just do it anyway?
I probably will, but like being
What would you do if you didn't play volleyball? I have literally no idea. Other than like just be a flagpole.
Yeah, dude, or
a
a lighthouse.
lifeguard tower.
Yeah, dude.
Exactly.
I'd probably be a lifeguard, honestly.
Yeah. You think?
Yeah, I wouldn't be good at it.
You could be a pro wrestler.
That would have been cool.
That'd be really sick, actually.
Oh, wait, that's what I wanted to say. There's a couple things that are like bubbling up in culture right now.
Mhm.
The zeitgeist, if you will.
Nice.
One is pro wrestling. I'm just hearing
Because of
Dude,
Rick
yeah.
Rubin, dude.
people are, yeah, I think, but not just him. I mean, Billy Corgan is like, he owns.
Rick Rubin said that he was really into pro wrestling.
Oh, he loves it. He's always loved
talking
it.
about, like, that's
He watches
thinks
it to
it's
go
the
to
best
sleep.
representation of how the world works.
He thinks it's more real than reality.
Yeah.
But when he explains it,
It
it
makes
makes a lot of
sense.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not crazy.
Yeah.
He has a nuanced
That
explanation.
makes sense.
That and prayer and spirituality. The pendulum is swinging. There's so many people that are starting that I've heard say, podcast people, friends, everyone's like starting to like crave some
Get a
fucking
little bit
bigger
more
belief.
spiritual.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
I think it's because our culture has gone the other way so hard, like against it for a while, especially in the media and stuff. Like,
we're all getting older.
yeah, but I don't think it's just that. I think it's also just culture. I don't think it's just our age. I think we just happen to be adults right now. I think it's happening despite.
Like everyone
I
outside
also
of our
feel
generation
Across the
is
board,
getting
people are starting
more
to crave
spiritual.
some
Sure.
kind of connection.
Well, and I don't know, for those people who like feel like they have to base every decision in their life on like practicality or logic or studies or whatever, it's like we also have a lot of data that I think smart people talking about these subjects that are maybe not religious, where for the longest time prayer and those things were associated with religion.
Yeah.
And so now that they're being talked about not in that context, I think a lot of that stuff.
Just seeing the benefits of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now there's like, maybe there's some science to show like a neuroplasticity or different things, they're coming up that are
100%.
like,
Yeah.
oh, now
But
a
this
guy like
goes
me
back.
can take this information and find the beauty in it, or how I
Right.
can use it in my
It's
life.
just in a different wrapper.
Yeah.
But like, it's what I've been saying lately is that like everything is everything.
Mhm.
I think the more we know, the more we start to see that nothing is separate.
Yeah.
Science, religion, whatever, it's all the same thing.
Music
It's
and
just
sports.
music, sports, literally everything is everything. Everything can be a parallel for anything else.
It's very true.
Let's do it. Let's do jacking off and politics.
The question is, how is jacking off like politics?
Yeah. How is one a parallel for the other?
Well, some people want me to do it and some people don't. Also, there's definitely
Okay.
a time and a place for it.
Okay.
Right.
Is that true of? That's true of everything, which does support my point.
Okay, wait, hold on. We have to delineate between like the concept of politics and jacking off, or like being a Republican or a Democrat and jacking off.
The concept of all of politics and jacking off.
Okay. So how is jacking off like politics?
I don't know. I think I didn't lob. I didn't give us a lob.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something like
Loft.
that. Trying to think of like something with coming.
I was trying to finish. I was thinking of
Yeah,
something.
I
with
know,
finish.
but like what? Yeah, I can't find one for politics. That's like-
Well, okay.
one person
the-
never gets to finish.
Well, that's like a bad one-liner. but hold on, no. I'm not insulting you. You weren't trying to make a one-liner.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was.
You were?
Well,
There's
I mean,
this
that's how it
weird
was in
culture
my
of
mind-
saying
in my
something
mind.
insulting that we have, and then saying I wasn't trying to insult you. That's really toxic. I think we should find a new way because it's really
Let's just
bad.
do it how we have originally done it.
But you weren't trying to make
We're
a
not-
one-liner,
none of
right?
us- none of us are offended by anything.
My
unless
point
you're the
wasn't-
bit of being offended by
My
something.
point wasn't that you were bad.
I don't care.
It's
It
gonna.
was-
be
I know you
offensive,
don't.
that's
It's
fine.
okay.
No,
It's
you
okay
don't.
for me to say something that I also know isn't funny, but it just came out.
100%. 100%.
Right.
Okay, the reason I'm trying to backtrack so hard, and I'm not, because it's also true, I wasn't trying to be insulting, is that I don't think either of you have insulted me this whole time.
Yeah. Neither of you have insulted. Well, Taylor kind of.
You've both been insulted by me.
I mean, I kind of already insulted you.
Oh, you did. Sorry.
I don't
You're
think I was insulted by you.
right. Yeah, because I was calling you out for your metaphors.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was just like that was
Razzing.
just jousting.
But
That's
that's kind of
fine.
what all of this is.
Yeah, the fat face one
That's harsh.
was the harshest out of all of them.
Yeah.
But
Because
like,
fat's a hard word.
yeah, so you know that.
We don't need to keep back.
Okay, cool. But if you could just admit really quick that it
No,
is that.
I'll be
really
honest.
good.
I don't feel great about it. When
Yeah.
I said it, I knew it
That's
was a
fine.
little harsh.
Okay.
It's
But
crazy
I
that
did it
you're
because of- wait,
hurt
stop. I did
that
it-
we thought you could never.
No, because we
Yeah.
made it a big
we
thing.
considered that.
No, because we made it a big
You
thing.
might
It
not
didn't need to be a big
understand.
thing. I know it's harsh.
Yeah,
I know I could have used a different word.
totally.
I said it on top of the joke that you always think that I think that you're a little chubby,
Yeah,
but I don't give a fuck.
yeah.
I tease you about it because that's what brothers do, and still a part of me.
You know what's funny
wants
too
to
is
be the
you
little
teased me
teaser
about it for
dude.
so long that I actually got in pretty good shape.
And it's the greatest thing I ever
Hey,
could
dude,
have gifted you.
I
Dude.
Fat
know.
shaming fucking works.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It
I mean,
worked.
okay.
I'm not saying
listen,
it's the healthiest thing for people to do,
No.
but it is an effective weight loss tool.
yeah.
clearly, and
Totally.
Grant's a proof of that.
I'm an effective weight loss tool.
You're a tool.
Yeah,
But that's another interesting one. And what I tried to bring up earlier is like, yeah, I would joke about your weight, but also not really. I think you were just really sensitive to it, but I never knew
was.
if it actually affected you.
No,
and
no,
because
no.
you're the kind of playoff guy, then it was like our little play. You
Right.
know, it didn't feel like I would never do it. Like I would never do it
First of all,
unless it was
I
harsh
also
to
think I'm a
be.
playoff guy. So
You are a playoff guy.
How long are your
Hopefully one day.
podcasts?
I don't know until we're done.
That's fine. I'm just wondering typically.
Should we
2
like
hours.
try to wrap it around to like something like volleyball-ish? Again?
Oh, I did have it. My second question that I never got to was a volleyball question.
Okay.
I'm sure there is a parallel, and can you paint it for us of the situation in a room with songwriters where someone has a bad idea, and how do you handle that? Because ultimately, you're on a team, and your goal is to write a song. Volleyball, you're on a team, and your goal is to win. Is there a parallel? Like, what's the parallel for someone having a bad idea, and then you having to like learn how to
Kinda
deal
like
with it?
somebody making it. I'm not a volleyball player. Why don't you answer it? That really makes more
What's
sense.
your answer?
I was
No.
gonna say
I want
yeah,
your
right?
answer first.
Well, I think it's also different. Like, also, and maybe it's not different, but I think of like the real battle is players and coaches, because more often than not, like players want to collaborate on things, and it's also different. And maybe this is similar
Yeah, but it
to
doesn't
you.
matter because so do songwriters.
Okay. Also, I feel like
Well,
there's a
what I'm
difference
saying is,
between-
give me both.
here's the parallels that are coming to me as you said that. One of
Okay.
them being like, a lot of times if there's a more veteran guy, you kind of just like sway towards what he thinks.
Right.
So I'm imagining if you're writing with like, I don't know, who's like one of the biggest.
Max Martin.
You make him up or is he real?
No, he's real.
Okay, he's
He's-
Max Martin is the greatest songwriter of all time.
Okay.
It's crazy how
yeah.
many songwriters have names that sound fake.
Yeah, it actually does sound really fake.
Yeah.
for sure.
Benny
Max,
Blanco.
yeah, but
Benny
Max Martin is
Blanco.
arguably the biggest songwriter. of all
Kanako
time.
Ganachi.
Yeah, big time.
Gucci will eat you.
I mean, that's at least for me. It's I don't know what the fuck where like I'm completely lost like what I'm trying to say or what we're.
It's
trying to
just
get
like,
at, but-
what is a situation where, like, does someone ever have like a bad? Okay, let's say, like, are there timeouts in volleyball?
Yeah, but the difference also is like we all have such different roles, you know? We're not like we're collaborating in terms of like we need each other to win.
Right.
I know, but will anyone ever have like an idea for? There's plays, right?
Yeah, more
There's
or less.
not plays?
I mean, the thing I think about in my position is like a setter wants to run me on a specific like route,
Yeah.
and I want to do a different route.
Right. That's perfect. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
And how do you handle that?
it depends.
Adapt.
A great question, actually. It depends. Like if I'm with,
Finally,
for
it's a great
example,
question.
our setter Michael Christensen,
Yeah.
he's like probably the best setter in the world,
Uh-huh.
and he's very
That's so sick.
he's very sick. And a lot of times, like he'll give me a route that maybe I don't want to run,
Uh-huh.
but if he gives it to me, it's like I trust that he's thinking about the entire strategy of
Right.
like what
You have
he's
faith
using me
enough
or
to
not.
go like
Yes.
he has a vision I don't
And he
have
gives
right
me
now.
enough balls to keep me in it, to keep me believing in what he's doing.
Right.
And he's the best in the world, so I
Yeah.
have some of that for him.
Yeah.
Whereas like other setters, I'm like, give me the fucking ball, and I will say that, and
Yeah.
he'll give me something like, no, do this. And so I'll give him like a different call of something that I want. Like I'll override it
Uh-huh.
a lot of times, and they'll be like, all right, yeah, because they respect me because I'm older in some way.
Right, got it. Okay.
So that's my answer.
So okay, so it is very similar to music collaboration.
It's the worst.
It just.
What do you mean it's the worst?
I mean, no, I don't know. What were you gonna say?
I was just
No. Explain what you just said.
No, I just mean like, what if, okay, I don't know. It's not as big. Like, I feel like combining these in the way that it was presented to me is hard for me right now.
You're having a reaction that I don't understand.
I guess like,
Do you understand?
I'm thinking about
What's going on?
like,
Not really.
You're just willing to accept
here's
it?
what I'm saying is
Move
like
on.
the like collaborating in terms of like how you would collaborate with someone on music, I think is super different than how I would collaborate with a coach or a teammate. Even though
The
there
details are
definitely
different, but the fundamentals of collaboration might be. There are some universal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I
fundamentals
didn't like
are the ebb and flow. You're in compromise.
Yes. Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
like you're going to have to give a little to get a little.
Trust,
Yeah,
faith.
guaranteed.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Building a relationship.
No one's actively trying to fuck you over. It's like you're all trying to get to the same place.
And in both scenarios,
Right, but-
there can be someone with an ego who's
Oh
like,
my
no,
God,
I'm
and
just trying to
ego,
have
dude.
my
Yeah.
star moment.
Holy
you know?
shit, and ego though. That in the songwriting world for sure exists, but also I believe
Well, I thought you were joking for sure. The way
Yeah,
you
it
said
sounded like
though.
you were trolling me, but I knew you weren't.
no for sure.
Okay.
Because in volleyball, have you ever run into players who have an ego where they're like,
That's
no,
the-
I want this to be my moment to the detriment of the team?
Maybe not
It's
as
hard
much.
to tell. It's hard to tell.
Maybe not as much. I want this to be my moment, but like
Also, let me be clear. Volleyball's a little different than, for example, basketball, where one guy can go off and have 60 points. Yes, one player can go off and have, let's say, like a big game, which would be like
True.
30 plus points. But he needs someone to maybe pass the ball. He needs a setter to set him the ball.
right.
So I feel like it's a little different in that way.
For
you
sure.
know? Like it's a little more, you need to be able to cooperate, whether you can be the person to like, I will say this though, that energy can completely sway how you're able to effectively collaborate. Because like if you have one player or two players who are just like bad attitude, or when they get angry, they like go off, and that can, other people can see that and it drags them down.
Yeah.
That would be one potential similarity, but I don't see how that fits with music really.
Yeah.
Like, do you
I do, totally.
Like,
It's like your attitude in
do
the
you
room.
work with someone who's ever just like, no, I think that's like people who aren't good at that?
Yes. A lot.
100%.
Well, well, at least now at the point I'm at in my career, I've like weeded those people out a little bit more. Where like I know that I'm more successful with people who have like minds.
Right.
So like I work with the people that I want to work with now,
Right.
and those are usually people who are very yes and people.
Yeah.
Where like some people just want. It seems like they want to disagree with you, or they just have their own agenda and they really like their idea. But also sometimes I don't even know. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's like they don't even. It's not even that they like their idea more. They just don't. They just really don't want you to get yours.
I feel like
I
it,
would
honestly, I feel like it would be much more cutthroat in the music industry than it is in sports.
I don't know. I feel like
I think it's just everybody wants to be in rooms with people that they like. Everybody wants to enjoy their job.
for sure.
So if you're going around and like being a bummer, you're gonna get weeded out.
And this
Totally.
is to me what I would
Or you're
imagine.
gonna go work with the other bummers. Maybe.
Yeah, like if everyone in the room is cutthroat and so everybody just speaks that language. You
Totally.
think that's normal. Maybe you just end up working with those people.
That those rooms exist.
That's awful.
for sure.
Yeah, I guess I'll say one thing.
I have to pee.
Go pee.
Okay.
I think for me personally, something that I struggle with is feeling like I don't always get to choose my environment and being very envious of like people who get to choose like who they surround themselves by. And a lot of that too
You're
is like
pretty committed to just the team.
you have to be.
Yeah, and you don't really have any control over the team.
Right.
It's like if there's someone on your team that you don't like playing with, like you kind of just have to suck it up and do it anyways.
And maybe that's similar to like being in a band.
Or like, no, I think it's maybe similar to like the way the music industry works, where it's like I don't necessarily like the politics of how songs come out and the way that just the industry works in general. Like I don't agree with a lot of the ways that like things have to happen, but if I want to participate in the job, I have to participate in all of it and not just part of it. I don't know. I feel like we're trying really hard to make this metaphor work, and there are ways for sure. And
I didn't like the question from the beginning.
I know this isn't podcast relevant, but do you guys want me to order food for us?
We should get In and Out.
Yeah, we should get food soon.
Well, if we get In and Out, then we're probably. What time is it?
It's getting closer.
It's
No, don't let
later
them know
than
what time it is.
I won't let them know,
Yeah.
but
It's like 10:35.
No, this is we woke up at 6.
all right. I have a thing.
Don't let them know. 10:35 a.m.
Yeah.
Let's do this just for people who
Okay.
are maybe interested in music
What?
stuff. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna ask some like really kind of basic
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, like, at least for me too. I would love to know from both of you, like, where do you draw inspiration from, creatively, and then like maybe musically? Grant,
You
go
wanna go
first.
I pointed. You
Go
weren't
first.
looking.
Where?
Like,
Point
what am I
first.
inspired by?
Like even your style of writing, do you think it's completely maybe now it's completely your own, but was there like a style of writing? Because you hear about this like in stand-up comedy, right? That like for me, dude, even like I'll listen to like Theo Vaughn's podcast and I'll catch myself wanting to create phrases that are like so absurd in some way.
Totally.
Like, do you feel like you had an influence like that in
Well,
music?
every person that makes music, it's like you're a product of the things that you love.
What
Or
are
like
you a
you're
product
an amalgam of all of the things that you love.
What would you say you're a product of?
So like early on, like
Metallica.
Coldplay, Metallica for a period of time. I was really into Metallica, and then Jamiroquai, Earth, Wind and Fire, and like it makes sense in like I think that people that listen to music or people that make music, there's people who grew up listening to lyrics and people who grew up caring about melody. And I feel like I was a melody person.
You're forgetting one.
What's the other one?
Because I was a melody person too, but I was also a texture person, which is like production.
Yeah, but I would lump that even more into the melodic category.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm a melody person too, but
Yeah.
but it's still different because no. I
think
know
I'm
what you're
talking
saying.
about songwriting
I'm not talking
right
about
now, too.
notes.
Yeah,
I'm talking about sounds, textures.
right.
So like guitar tones, drum sounds.
Like nerd shit.
Yeah, I mean you call it nerd shit, but like it's the same reason like some people like photos with like a lot of film grain or like clean photos.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying? Some people don't give a fuck. They're more about the composition of the photo or whatever the colors.
Right.
But I don't know if it's necessarily nerdy because even people who aren't nerdy about shit, like they feel that.
You're right. That was just a jab. I like that you.
No,
like
no,
the nerdy
nerd. No, nerd to me isn't an insult.
Right.
It's another description. But
Totally.
I just feel like it was an.
Okay, wait, keep going though.
Sorry.
shit. What am I inspired by now, or like?
Okay, so like you're musically inspired by those, but like lyrically, do you have anyone that you're like, this is like a reference that I've used, or someone who clearly influenced how I?
This is explaining. You're hearing your answers right now. Is
Yeah.
actually explaining a lot of the differences between you and I musically.
Yeah,
It
they
makes sense.
exist for sure,
It makes a lot of sense.
big time. I think I think I only really started caring about lyrics when I started being a professional songwriter. I don't think I really thought that they mattered that much. And I'm actually curious to know, like,
You didn't mention the Strokes
I mean, the Strokes are huge for sure. That's
and Julian Casablancas. Like, how long into being a super fan of them did you find out that he wasn't writing about anything in particular
years
in the
probably.
beginning? It was a long time.
Yeah, but I think because I like resonated
And
pretty
Chris Martin.
immediately. Yeah, totally. Chris
Both
Martin's
of
not
them.
writing about anything. Did you ever hear the story about him writing Yellow,
no,
the Coldplay song Yellow?
no.
basically he was just like, they were working on another song in the studio, and he was like, I wonder if I tried to like write a song like Neil Young.
Mm-hmm.
And so he just kind of started playing this chord progression and singing in this like Neil Youngy type voice. And he was just like looking around the room, and he was like, I want to sing about something. And he just saw the Yellow Pages, and he just started singing the word yellow. And it was like a joke. And he like brought it into all the guys in the band, and they were like, yeah, that's cool, whatever. And so he like got a little excited, and then went and just like wrote a chorus in 5 seconds, and then came back, and it's like the biggest song of all time.
That's insane.
It's pretty crazy.
Do you feel like a lot of the best music comes out that way? Like,
sadly, yeah. I don't know.
What do you mean sadly?
Because I like preached this thing for a while that, and I think partially to make myself feel better on days that like I spent a really long time writing something,
Mm-hmm.
that like the end result of something that you labored over for hours versus something that like felt like it was just always existed and took like no effort to write, like the end result's kind of the same sometimes objectively.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know how much greater a song that I wrote in 5 minutes versus a song that I wrote in 10 hours is, like as songs, like, but the one that you wrote in 5 minutes feels better.
Feels better.
Feels fantastical. It feels like the thing. It
Well,
feels like what you always hear people talking about when like, oh, they wrote like so-and-so song in 5, it just came out of them. It's like, or when you hear about Paul McCartney waking up and like having yesterday in his head from a dream or something like that. You're like,
Can I just throw a new age Michael woo woo explanation for that out there?
yeah.
I think that the reality is it doesn't matter that there's one is not better than the other. Sometimes they're equal, or like you never
I
know.
agree.
I think that
dude, let me just ask you guys. I mean, the best songs what do you think is the best song you ever wrote? Michael.
it's like
Well,
usually,
the best song that you've ever written.
Usually it's not out yet.
I was just gonna say the same thing.
It's
Okay,
always the
that's
next.
like
It's always the
it's
next
like
one.
a very like philosophical answer.
No.
but
I
but-
literally mean.
and I would
It
agree.
seems like it's always the next
Of course.
one.
Yeah, you're totally right. You're probably right.
But that's like kind of implicit in this particular brand of being creative, as it's like there's no point in creating the next thing if it's not going to be better
If it
than the last thing that you made.
doesn't feel like it's gonna be
Yes.
better, but
Really?
Yeah.
my fucking point before Taylor interrupted me about one's not better than the other is that I think that I'm subscribing to this belief that these creative ideas are coming from the divine, and when you write those ones in 5 minutes, it feels like your antenna of picking up ideas is closer to
totally.
the divine source, and so that's why they feel bigger.
You know what? I have a question for you. Do you ever, for both of you, do you ever feel like you go through, I'm going to fuck these words up, spouts or spells?
Spurts.
Kind of. Yeah.
Spurts.
Spurts, okay. Do you ever feel like you go through spurts of time where you're just like so creatively on fire? It doesn't even need to be in writing music. It could be like in how you interact with people socially. Just like in general, you just feel like you're that version of yourself that's just fucking on.
Yeah.
And then maybe you write or do something creative, and then 2 weeks later, it's like you look back at something you wrote and you're just like, I'm getting nothing from this.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
that's like the definition of being creative.
Yeah.
Is it's like you have a period of time where everything feels really easy, and like everything that you're doing was supposed to happen, and then nothing really changes that much, except like it's never a loss of ideas. It's just you become like really judgmental sort of sometimes more than others.
Yeah, it's you. It's more like you change.
Yeah, your
The
ideas,
work doesn't change as
like,
much.
I still stand by that. Like my ideas are usually the same. Like the quality of my ideas
Mhm.
are in the ballpark of the same thing, but how receptive I am to them and how judgmental or not judgmental I am of them
Mhm.
is constantly changing.
Dude, it's so interesting because like am trying to, I think for a long time I suppressed so much of this narrative that like I could be creative in any way, because to your point, when we were younger, it's like I was sports guy and you were music guy.
Right.
And I always thought of you as someone who was just like a creative, both of you actually, like creative geniuses and just like wordsmiths in a way, you know, and I just was I was just the tall, dumb kind of just volleyball kid.
Right.
And it's only as of recent years that I've just started pursuing like creative writing and things because I enjoy doing it.
Right.
And I remember doing this thing I called Tall Thoughts. It's on my Instagram. And I had a couple, and it was like a period of a week or two where I was just like, I'm going to start doing creative writing every morning or every afternoon when I got back from training. And so I would go train, come back, and then just pick a subject, like a chair, and just be like, how curious can I be about this chair?
Right.
Like, who invented, like, who must have been so tired? They're like, why don't we just create something instead of sitting on rocks, whatever it was. And I remember writing out, like, when that idea hit me, I just started coming up with so many good ideas. And I did the one on flies and like,
right.
And I love that to this day. And I wrote it like all in one take and then had all these ideas, left Poland, came back home, like was just kind of settling back in. And a couple weeks later was like, I gotta keep doing the creative writing stuff. I really liked what that brought out of me.
Right.
And I looked back at like some of the ideas I had and even read some of the old ones. And I was like, what? Like, this just doesn't ring with me at all anymore.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I mean, you were probably just.
Well, let me finish really quick.
Sorry.
It scared me because I was like, when am I gonna? And I talked with my therapist about this too. Like, when am I gonna be the version of me that gets the thing?
Dude, imagine your whole career hinges on the moments where things are good, and then you think you did something good, and then you go back and you're like, oh, that wasn't good, or there's a moment when you can't write something good and you're convinced that you're never going to do something good again.
How much does...
But then you repeat that weekly.
Dude, how does that not, for both of you, how does that not just insurge you with just like insane amounts of anxiety and fear?
I mean, it's always a perspective thing and like having a little bit of control over the environment of yourself.
How do you overcome that then?
You overcome it through sheer will, and then if you do it long enough, you start to realize it's part of the process and it's less scary. You might go through a dry spell and instead of going like, I'm never going to, like, because do you feel that way now? Because I know you've been through moments where you're like, I don't know how to write a good song again.
I mean, I think I kind of like, maybe in like 2 or 3 week cycles. And I feel like the feeling like I don't know how to write a song thing is that feeling gets a little shorter, but there's like a bigger feeling of just like, oh, now I'm less creatively fruitful right now.
Yeah, it's just you've just seen yourself be in that space and then it change enough times that it sucks, but like, you know, it's just temporary.
I mean, it's kind of like anxiety.
Yeah, 100%.
Or like panic disorder a little bit in some ways, where it's like, if you are someone who has panic attacks and you know what they are, it doesn't make having them any easier. But
a little bit.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
A little bit.
They still will catch you.
Because the fear is not compounded by, will this ever end?
Yeah.
Dude, it's also very similar to what I do. Like, in fact, like this last couple weeks, I felt like such a lesser version of myself as a volleyball player. And today we played 6-on-6, 3 sets, like actual games of volleyball to compete. And I was like, oh, fuck, there I am. But for the longest time, I was just like, dude, what is going on? Like, I'm missing like doing things that were like felt super uncharacteristic.
Right.
And to your point of like, well, the more you have those things, the better you get at like coping with them and like having strategies. And then also, like, at least for me, also to this day, I still get caught up in like before most games, and I don't know if you felt this way about like shows, but before most games, I do like a visualization, like a little meditation, breath work, and some visualizations. Mm-hmm. Most games to this day, at some point, there's a visualization of like, I serve the ball under the net, which in volleyball is like maybe one of the most embarrassing things you can do.
Right.
Do you ever feel like I guess I'm surprised sometimes because I'm like, oh, I should be wiser and better equipped to handle that. But yet it still comes around.
You're doing a visualization, and then
when I do visualization, it's like I visualize myself. Like, what do I look like in the gym? I visualize specifically like, what does the ball feel like when I make this move or when I hit the ball, or like as specific as I can get.
Serving under the net comes up out of nowhere during that, you're saying?
There's always that bit of me that, like, back in my head that's like, and what if, and what's going to happen when you do this? And then just boom, the visualization of me like really fucking up, like whiffing the ball.
And how do you react to that?
Well, now I always overcome it.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm just like, oh, I should be so much more this shouldn't even be coming up. Or like even in games, it's like, you know, when I
should is a difficult word.
Very fair. And I think a part of life in general is understanding that some of these things are endless.
There is no should.
Yeah, should is kind of counterintuitive.
Your experience is just what it is.
What did I say?
No.
What did I say?
Wait, to be clear, I didn't
No,
use,
you said
I didn't use
you
it
said
again,
you
though.
said I should be like over this. Like this shouldn't be coming
right, but
up
then
anymore.
and you brought it up the should thing, but then
Yeah.
I didn't say it again.
No, you
Right.
didn't. No one said you did.
You both said should.
No, we were still commenting on the previous should.
Yeah.
Okay, that was confusing.
I was saying that like saying this shouldn't be coming up is like
Agreed.
there is no should.
Yeah.
Of course not.
It is or it isn't.
Yeah,
it just
exactly.
is.
Of course not.
And maybe you don't want it to be coming up, but
Of course not.
Dude, you know what the sickest advice actually that I got from watching people teach people how to surf that I've been so much applying to my songwriting life right now is, do you remember where you look is where you're gonna go?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, it's
dude,
the dopest advice.
that
Ever.
is life. That's
I
not
know.
songwriting. That literally
Dude,
is the
it's
best
for
advice.
everything. It's so good, and I'd heard it like many times, and only recently started putting it together. It's like a manifestation tool, I guess, in itself, in a way.
Dude, it's real.
it's
Whatever
so
you
real.
focus on,
Dude, oh my god.
whatever your aperture is focused on, is
100%.
what you manifest.
I was thinking about it specifically too, outside of any of this, just like when I was driving a couple days ago too, and I caught myself driving and then seeing like a lady kind of step out on the street a little bit, and then noticing that the more I watched, the more I kind of turned towards possibly hitting her at some point. I was like,
That
dude,
might be a
it's
different
so
thing.
true. Yeah, maybe.
That might be a different
No.
thing.
But I
Manifesting.
really think that like, I don't know. It's
Say it. Say
That's
it.
really
It's
good.
like
I
so
really
dumb.
think that where you look is where you go.
Dude, I
Dude,
know.
it's true. It's sick.
Can I ask you
I love
too?
that.
I think all of us here, like at least for myself, it sucks that I think so many beautiful messages get like just sound like even that. It's like so cringy, but it's so true.
That one's not
How
But
as cringy
dude,
to me for some
past
You
reason.
know what though? You can teach yourself to like the cringe, which is what I'm doing now.
Yeah,
Things
that's
that are
so
like
real.
trite or like corny, I'm starting to like the corniness.
Mm.
The corniness almost draws me to it more.
Mm.
Stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I guess it's my own syndrome that I go. It's my own problem.
No, I
because
had
it's-
that too.
It's the
really
same with,
bad.
like I want even like tattoos and stuff, and we all here have like gotten a lot of tattoos together, and like
Yeah.
shout out to Samurai, amazing person.
You should have him on the podcast.
I'm
Oh, yeah.
planning on it. He's
Big
amazing.
time.
But like I was gonna get, for example, I was gonna get on my hand, existing is enough, because I
Yeah,
remember
that's
being
cool.
in a therapy session and being like saying it and crying, just like crying. And he
Yeah.
like really worked me through it. It was really amazing and beautiful, and I was like, this is amazing. I love everything about this.
Yeah.
I thought about getting it, and I was like, it's too serious. It's too to the point. And I have a problem sometimes with being like Mr. Cool, I think, or
We
like
all
being
do.
like
We all
it's
do.
not cool.
I think we literally
And
all do.
also, dude, I feel like sometimes I like if I say something or like I think my biggest issue is like I think both of you, especially you, were like big influences in my life in certain ways, creatively and like for funny things. I felt like you guys were like a step ahead of me, and I think we're already in like a different category without sounding like an asshole. You know what I mean?
But you said
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But I said it anyways.
yeah, but you said it, so we're here now.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I mean, the point, I guess, for me was just like I
That's a really nice thing that you said, by the way.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
What?
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you think we're funny?
That you
Yeah.
that you think we're good at stuff.
Yeah, and you are. And
Thanks.
but it's also I think held me back in certain ways. Like I can't post this thing. Like if Grant thinks something I post or do is funny, it's like huge for me, you
I
know?
know that, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
so
think-
like the idea of getting something so serious, sometimes I'm not that I'm saying, oh, Grant would think it's too serious. That's not what I'm saying. But it's like maybe deep ingrained in me now where it's like if it feels too serious or on the nose, it's like, I don't.
Dude,
But I need to
think
get over it.
That
I agree
age
with you.
is because I see it with you and I see it with our friends. I see it with myself that like I think we're all just starting to accept that like we're all lame.
Yeah, totally.
We're all lame sometimes. So like it's just you got to do the lame thing
Yeah.
and know that your friends are just gonna they're not judging you like you think they are.
And I wonder if, like, talking about pendulum swinging, I wonder if, like, culture is going to move just towards, like, cringe core or something at some point.
I already
Or,
think
like-
it is. Maybe it's just in my head, but I think that corny is starting to become like the authentic.
Yeah, and, like, not in a ironic way.
Yeah, no.
Like,
the more like
genuine-
corny is like,
yeah.
oh, that's authentic. You're just being yourself.
Totally.
Like,
But
in
then
a
will
way.
it become so mainstream that it's not even corny anymore?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
corny will
Oh
always,
my god.
cringe will always be there, and corny is always there for a reason.
Yeah.
You know.
Dude, it's like it's the same way that like I always use the Borat example. They're like, very nice. Like everybody started doing it after the movie came out.
Yeah.
And then like people did it for so long that it was like, okay, don't do that. And then people who did it were like embarrassing. Like, don't do the Borat thing around me. That's embarrassing. And then we started doing it, making fun of the people who did it.
But now it's
But
fun.
then it's like funny to do it.
Dude,
Then it becomes
yes.
actually funny. So it's just like a fucking. That's how everything is.
Fashion, all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I don't know. Maybe people start like sincerely listening to Nickelback, like loud, like people we are
They
friends
mean
with.
it.
Dude,
Yeah.
you know what? I actually have like one of my bigger songs is with this this country artist, this dude Bailey Zimmerman.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time we met him, we sat down, we were asking him like what he was into, and he's like no joke, I love Nickelback. Like
Yeah.
I think they're sick, and I think he's a great songwriter. I
And
was
did
like,
you like it when he said
dude,
that?
I thought it was so sick. And he
That's
said
what I'm
it
saying.
So
We think it's
authentically.
cool. We like
I
it.
know. I was like, and it kind of made me like rethink the way that I thought about Nickelback for a minute too, because like I think we just hated it.
I never hated it. I didn't like
I think it was
what
just
they were
annoying that it was
associated
like,
with.
remember like the radio?
But I always thought they were
Like-
good.
Remember the radio? Cool.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember like I used to fall asleep with my little alarm clock radio, and I would just filter through like the alternative station, whatever, like the pop station, just like hear like the same songs all the time, and fucking look at this photograph. You hear it like 1,000 times.
I never. That wasn't the one that I. Was that? I know it was big, but.
So never knew a heart was breaking.
And then I've been down, I've been wrong.
Like,
Or be like,
I've been down,
what- yeah.
I've been down, and I'm still down now.
What's the name of that one?
I don't even know
Is
if
it
it
like
has
How
a
You
name.
Remind Me
Just
or
call it
something?
number 2 or
Is
number
how
1.
you
I don't know.
remind me of
Still
what
down,
I
dude.
really
Yeah,
am.
still down.
Still
dude.
down by
Still
Nickelback,
down.
for sure.
I liked that song when it came out. It
Yeah,
was big.
I mean we
When I
all
was a
did,
kid.
but at some point it just was on so much.
But what's
that, like-
crazy is I had to do research on why they were so hated, and I realized that most people hated them because other people hated them.
Yeah,
There wasn't even a real reason.
no, totally.
And the reason that the original adopters, the early adopters of the hate, didn't like them is because supposedly Chad Kroeger, singer, said a bunch of super douchey shit consecutively in interview after interview.
Right.
And so people started to turn on him. And then it became this huge
Which
thing.
is crazy
mass
because
hate.
people have been saying douchey shit in music since the beginning of music.
Yeah, but I think that they were just like towing the line of like, dude, like you're already like.
I have a really good Chad Kroeger story, and I just realized that I can't say who it is.
Yeah.
But Chad Kroeger gave an artist friend of mine like sex advice once.
Was it really bad?
No, it was really good.
Really?
He was basically like, you need to stop watching porn like immediately.
Oh,
And like,
that's sick.
yeah, he's like, how much,
Oh,
how much of this can I talk about?
I like Chad now.
Maybe real.
He was
we
married to
crossed-
Averill
we crossed the
He
Lavigne.
line.
probably
long
crossed
time
the
ago,
line
dude.
a long time ago. That's true.
What the fuck was I gonna say? Oh, I think you said something one time. Like, I can't remember what it was. You just like owned it. Like, you know how when people say things that you never think of, it's not like they don't always have to be like bad or embarrassing, but it's something you would never think is like a cool thing to own, and then one day someone owns it super hard, and you're like, that's it.
Yeah, this is like super just relying on an example right now. I like need to. I need it
But you
so
know
bad.
what I'm getting
I
at.
think I do, but I
It's
just
like
need-
someone who's like, okay, I'll give you an example of what mine is, and then maybe you'll be able to relate it. But like, I had one recently where like I imagined going like, yeah, I'm terrified to be alone, like, but not like I'm embarrassed or it's a secret or scary thing. I'm like, yeah, no, fuck that. I don't want to be alone. I can't wait to like have a partner. Like, I just want to be like married or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of embarrassing to admit that you're scared to be alone. But if you just own it super hard, it's kind of
Okay,
cool.
hold on, yeah. No,
Do you know what I'm
it would
saying?
take-
But
yeah,
you don't
big
get what he's
time.
saying?
No. You're saying that's cringe?
No, I'm saying it's cool.
I lost it for sure.
No, it's simple. It's cool to
No,
own-
it is cringy.
It's cool
but
to
if you
really
say it
own
and you
what
just
you
own it, and it's just like, no, like that's not cringy. What do you mean?
Yeah,
It's just
then
a
it
fact.
makes it cool.
It makes it cool.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah, but things like that, and you did it one time, and I can't remember. Like,
what?
it was the first time I considered. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I actually
It
liked
was like a phrase or something.
It was just something you like. No, something that was like I would have thought would have been something you wouldn't want to like brag about,
Right.
but you were like you owned it super hard as if it was like nothing.
Was it
And I
about
was
like
that's-
maybe being in a relationship, or like was it something recent?
No, I don't know. It could be like someone going like, yeah, I come hella fast. Like I can't wait to get in there and just come. Like it's like or something. I don't know.
Yeah, big
Something
time.
like that.
Totally feel that.
Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you just flip it. You just own it, and then it's kind of cool.
I don't think that I don't. I mean, I've said that a lot.
What?
Dude, we should wrap it up pretty soon.
We're getting pretty close to the
Because
end.
now
Okay.
your mom's gonna listen to this,
I
or
know.
dad.
Well,
dude.
Oh,
Things.
dude, you guys are adults.
I agree.
Yeah. No, you're right.
They both had to come for you guys to exist.
Yeah, I still. I mean, there's no.
Well,
like,
no,
I,
just
yeah,
my
I don't
dad.
know.
Well, I
for
don't
sure
know.
that happened.
Okay, you're right.
Also-
But when women have an orgasm, it makes the pregnancy much more likely.
Damn it, Michael.
That's not even bad.
Wait, really?
Just acknowledging that women have orgasms?
No, we're just talking about our parents, dude.
We
I'm just
kinda
saying
did
in
lump it in with our
general,
parents, which made
if
it
a
harder
woman
here.
comes during sex
Yeah.
and you ejaculate into her,
Come stage.
her
Come stage.
into her receptacle,
Oh God.
Dude, I gotta dump all of this.
no, you don't.
There's no way.
Just own it, dude. Do you guys like when I tried to say that?
Dude.
That saying like, yeah, I'm terrified to be alone is cool, and then you had no
Hey, can
reaction, and you were like,
Hey,
wait,
let me
you
ask
lost
you guys
me,
for some
and it
advice.
wasn't
Let
cool.
me ask you for advice. Also, we should wrap this up soon. It's
Okay,
getting
yeah.
pretty late, but
Yeah.
honestly, this is something I've struggled with for a while. As I put out more content and I'm becoming more of like, God damn it, I'm becoming more of like a figure in American volleyball for men in some way, you know.
Just say it. It's
Whatever.
fine.
I guess the point I'm trying to make is like it gets really hard when I want to present my authentic self, because I think something that is winning in our culture, we talk about owning it, is just being who the fuck you are.
Absolutely.
And something I've always prided myself on is like talking how I'm talking to you guys to like anyone else.
Totally.
Yeah.
And some version of that to like, you know, kids. And I'm not like, you know, we're not going to be talking about coming and my parents specifically, but
Talking
you
about
know.
coming and your parents or in your parents?
Hey, dude. None of it. We're not going to talk about
Are you
any of it.
uncomfortable?
We gotta dump
Wait,
it all.
stop.
Are
Dude.
you
We're doing all
really,
of this,
dude?
No,
Your
we're not
parents
gonna-
know what jizz
Mike,
is,
dude. Knock it off,
Yeah, you're
dude.
back on.
No
It's
more.
insulting. It's insulting to
No
them.
more,
It's
dude.
Honestly,
insulting to
It's not.
jizz.
Look,
Okay.
It's insulting to jizz.
Look, I'm asking for advice.
to
dude.
deny its
I'm asking
existence.
for advice. As someone like me,
You were
listen,
jizz.
listen.
You know that?
Listen. Now,
You
a lot of
literally
the
jizz
audience.
now.
Hopefully,
We were all
dude,
jizz,
stop
dude.
It, dude.
The whole
Michael
human race at one point
was too.
was
Yeah.
jizz.
Literally.
You're
In
right.
God's balls.
Dude. Einstein and Martin Luther King Jr. were both jizz
Yeah.
at one point.
100%.
Yeah, you're right.
They
dude.
were, Hitler was jizz.
You might
Hitler
be
was
right,
jizz.
dude.
He was just jizz.
Hey man, you were just jizz.
We gotta end
Really
this
good.
because this feels profound, what I'm saying, and it's
Yeah.
not.
No,
No,
it is.
It's getting to that delusional
It
time
is
of
in
night.
a way,
dude.
though. I like it.
Dude, Gandhi
is.
was jizz.
Yeah, it's a cool way.
Let's just find one that
Dude,
hits.
actually, if I saw
Dude, to be
someone
hon-
wearing a shirt that said Gandhi, was
jizz.
jizz, I think would actually laugh pretty hard.
No, but let's just find one that hits.
Yeah, like that's not.
We can
Gandhi?
stop after, but who?
Not that's not Gandhi.
Yeah, like a person that it really hits that they
Dude,
were.
I
jizz.
honestly think it's just a great strategy for going around. Like when someone makes you mad, you just in your mind
You
you're
just
just
say,
like
you were just jizz.
we're just jizz.
Yeah.
you know.
No, but who else was just jizz?
Wait, Michael.
Just give me one. I'm just asking for
no, 'cause
one.
This is killing me, dude. Because this is the hardest part about like me putting out content. Me
Then
starting-
edit it out
No,
if you have
listen, dude. I may or may not. I haven't decided yet. It's not the point, dude. Okay. The point I'm trying to make is the thing that I've struggled with is like I love having these types of conversations. I love them because we grew up as Seinfeld kids.
Right.
It hits harder if you say
What's-
someone you know was just
What's
jizz.
really hard for me, dude, is understanding that parents, kids I might work with one day, like a wide range of people are going to be listening to this. So my question to you, my thought for both of you is that
Right.
how do you handle it? If you're me, give me some advice. because
You got to go to the 90-10 rule.
What's that?
You be 90% of yourself, 10% for everybody else.
but like
who said that?
I made it up right now.
I don't
It
buy
feels
it.
genius. Yeah,
I don't-
90's good.
90 is
mostly
good,
Yeah.
but I would argue that you could be 100%
Wait, I
yourself
wanna be
and you'd be more successful.
I want to be clear. I'm not talking about how I would interact with them on a
Right.
personal level.
No,
I'm
no, no, I
talking
know.
about
Presenting yourself in
presenting
media.
myself in media.
Yeah.
In this podcast now specifically.
Yeah.
Hitting on a lot of chords that I haven't strummed with other people.
Dude,
really.
I'm trying to imagine your dad on like his iPad or something watching this,
Yeah.
and then him hearing me say that everyone was just jizz.
Yeah. I mean,
And how does he not
what?
laugh?
He's gotten better.
How does he
at
not
that
pause
stuff, I
it and then
feel
think
like.
about it and go, "That's
well, there's
true."
also he surprises us sometimes.
He
with
does,
things,
yeah. As
you
they've
know?
gotten older, both mom and dads have surprised me at least.
Yeah.
You know.
I think you just, dude. It's like anything else. You just do it until it becomes normal.
You kind of just have to go for it. I
But you
guess.
don't think any part of me should be like, it's not necessary if like young volleyball kids are watching this,
No.
because I've never wanted to be that way. And then sometimes I'm like, okay, it doesn't mean I can't be myself.
If you're
still.
making content particularly for youths, then yeah, no, you shouldn't. You should
dump this.
Maybe there's like a
Yeah, but like, yeah, but if you're not,
Now listen to me. I gave you my scenario. My scenario is a majority of the following, I think and I hope for this podcast, is 18 to 35.
let me ask you something. Do you want your business to be,
I just gotta remember that those kids were just jizz at some point, dude.
dude, and their parents who will get mad? They were just jizz.
Yeah,
But
guaranteed.
listen, do you want your business to be
Jizz?
content for children?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm gonna think about this one for a long time. I actually really liked that a lot. That was
Yeah,
one of the
big
best things
time.
I've heard in a long time.
Do you want your business to be content for children or something bigger?
Yeah.
Because if you listen, do you want your career to be catering to kids?
No.
Then no, you commit to this now.
Right. But a part of what I do.
So put out children's content.
Yeah.
But this is not children's content.
Dude, also, since we're just relating everything back and forth here to music and the other things, it's like putting out music. You want to, in your mind, create something that's so generationally great that no one could listen to it and go, I don't like this.
Yeah.
But it's like, it is implicit in making music that some people are going to like it and some people are
Yeah.
not. And you just have to be okay with that.
in what Rick Rubin hammers in every piece of content he's appeared in is that the only real metric that you should be measuring your creations against is if you like it. Your taste is the only thing you need to be satisfying
That's really...
because that's going to create the best art.
Mm.
Because any other metric is fake. It's not real. It's a moving target. It's like this person or this imaginary person, and you're only like imagining what would they like or what are they gonna accept, what's gonna be entertaining to them. But it's just you making shit up.
Yeah. Well, he's also not talking about jizz. You know what I mean?
I'm sure he's worked with people who talked about it a lot.
I'm kidding. I mean, you're totally right. You're right. I appreciate that, dude. My confidence has been boosted.
But also, you have to find the line. Like, you can't be afraid to find the line of like, oh, I went too far. Because if you're afraid of that line, you'll always avoid it, and then you won't make like.
I
Cool
mean, there's
shit.
a handful of things that I don't want to bring up because we need to wind this down. That I've like wanted to talk about just because I think that they're interesting talking points and they're honest and relevant to me.
You should do every single one.
There's some that I just are just like not necessary for the fact that right now I represent being a USA volleyball player.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Okay,
I
time
also
and place
don't-
is true.
Yeah.
Is a real thing.
yeah.
But at the same time, this is your time and your place.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I guess to me, really, and this is where I draw the line at like, I don't also, I'm not going to do anything that's going to get me in trouble. Like talking about sex and jizz and like
what's gonna get you in trouble?
things I don't want to talk about.
Just got a lot of people in trouble.
Jizz.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Jizz also
no,
created
nothing
those
would get
people.
me in
Yeah,
trouble.
true.
You know, it's just, it is, I guess I've just struggled with like trying to find that line. And as someone who grew up as like, I want to be uniquely and authentically myself. And so like these conversations for people are like, I don't care that people get offended by it, but sometimes I'm like, damn it, I also like sell myself as a mentor to kids.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
my business coach, for example,
It's
a something.
that is something you have to contend with.
Right. And my business coach leans way more on your side of like, just be you. And it's true. Like the difference for me is like, I think the reason that certain parents are going to be more attracted to me is because I'm just being myself, and I'm not this like putting on this face of I know what to do and come follow
There's
my program.
nothing wrong with censoring a little bit in order for your business to thrive, because it's not the like appropriate place for that stuff. So I think that's okay. But I'm just talking about like if you want what you do to go beyond that, that's where you don't.
Yeah,
censor
maybe
yourself.
I think too little. Too little of myself. Maybe I should be thinking more. I'm gonna pray about it.
Yeah, I see you as doing something bigger than just mentoring aspiring volleyball players.
Yeah, I don't know what that would look like. So,
Well,
that's cool, man. I appreciate that.
I imagine like a judge sending a guy to prison for life, and then me getting in the middle and going, "You are both just jizz." Both. Sorry,
Dude, no,
I know it's
100%
not.
agree.
I just really like that because it's totally true. They can't argue. It's like you're sending him to jail for life. You were just jizz,
Totally.
and you were just jizz.
But one of them.
And then he smacks like a squeaker toy.
You're
mallet.
bad jizz. At some
And then he says, "Well, he's bad jizz.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why he's going to jail."
He's like corrupted jizz.
I was good jizz.
Exactly. I mean, good jizz is
All right,
the
dude.
beginning.
You guys feel good about
There's
that?
no good jizz and there's no bad jizz. There's just jizz.
All jizz is created equal. I like that. By God's balls.
It's just jizz, dude.
It's just jizz.
It's crazy.
Who jizz?
We were all white liquid
Wait a second.
that came out
But
of a penis.
If we're all from God's jizz, then who jizzed God?
God. Double God.
Double God.
Remember Double God? Oh my God, we let that go.
Oh, no, we did.
What's
I
double
brought it up to
God?
mom and dad once, and they hated it.
It's
Of
double
course
God.
they
Yeah,
did.
because we were like, well, if God exists, then who created God? And they're like, well, no, nothing. God's always existed. And I'm like, no, double God created God. He's like God, but even
Grant and I
bigger.
came up with like a Instagram page. I think we made
We
it.
might have.
We made an Instagram account called Double God, and we were gonna like write a Double God Bible,
Yeah.
like the Double Bible.
100%.
Whoa.
Because our whole bit was just like our religion is
Like
okay, you believe in
Pastafarianism.
God,
Totally.
but we believe.
It was
in
like, but it
double
was like the
God.
prequel to God. You know?
Yeah, like we were here before
Yeah.
you.
Like
Our
if
God is
God
more
the
right than
movie
your
existed
God.
and it's what we know as God now, like we were gonna write the prequel to God.
Yeah,
Just like
our God created your
double
God,
God.
so our God is better.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh my God, do you remember Taylor?
How far did
Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God
His
is
what
an
power?
awesome God.
jizz?
His wisdom, power, and love.
Oh, his wisdom,
Yes.
power, and love.
Gosh, dude, they really nailed it with like some Christian songs are really catchy.
Are ripping, dude.
I know.
Enough that still is with us to this day.
I know. I remember it so well.
I like guitar.
You just ended there. That's great.
All right, we're done.
Yeah.
think we're good, dude.
I think ending on that's probably the best we're gonna
That's
get.
it, dude. I think we're good.
Oh,
For
I want to
You've been-
say the
you've been
rest.
maximized.
Okay,
dude.
that's fine.
Let's
we'll
end
do
on
a
a high
part
note,
2.
you know?
It'll be great. We can pick up with
Ooh,
whatever
we can
you
do
were
part
gonna
two.
say.
And people,
It's
if you
fine.
guys love
Absolutely.
this, comment, and maybe we'll do a part 2, dude. This was
Yeah.
wildly fun.
Okay.
And I actually feel like I learned something about both of you, which was cool.
was
for me.
great.
So
Yeah,
Same.
I learned.
Whoa, this
I
was
learned
long.
This
something.
was long. Yeah, no one's gonna listen to it. It's fine.
Slow.
We can talk about jizz. It's
Yeah,
fine. No
big
one's made
time.
it this far. No way.
Okay.
All right. Good night.
I like the idea
Oh, wait, just
of the people who stay the latest
Yeah.
get to hear us talk about
Yeah,
jizz
dude,
because
they're gonna
there's
be-
like 3 people in the audience right now.
It's kind of cool. It's like they got to the adults only section.
oh, that is
It's like if
cool,
you stay
dude.
at the comedy
Yeah.
store till 2 a.m., you start to see like the weird stand up.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
sometimes it gets really good too.
Yeah, it does.
And the audience members are the hammered.
We've ended
Yeah.
it 3 times.
Yeah, we did try to end it.
The
couple
podcast.
times. This is like a.
That's pretty standard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my mic down right now.
No, before
Let
you
him do it.
before you do that, for people who are interested and really loved the things that you were saying,
Uh-huh.
where can they find out about the things that you're doing? I want to use it as a chance to boost anything.
Oh,
that-
thanks.
yeah.
The Michael Garmany podcast is one. You could just search that on anything and it'll be there. YouTube,
What do you talk about on
Spotify.
Michael Garmany podcast? Just like a quick little.
It's just all mental health, existential shit.
yeah. Okay.
I would like to do more of this though, because it's fun to talk about jizz.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh, dude, me too, dude. If I could, all I would do is talk about jizz. I talk
Dude,
about volleyball all the time.
crazy.
If someone made a podcast that was just like called jizz,
Yeah.
or let's
Hey,
talk about.
Can I ask you guys?
Is there anything
Can I
better?
ask you guys an honest question?
Yeah.
Do you think you would ever? Do you think this is a good crew to do a podcast?
Yeah, the three of us.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Now be honest with me. Do you think it'd be better if it was just you two?
No.
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 What do you think
no.
I
No.
really
no.
provide?
A third person.
Okay. A third jizz.
Yeah. Big time.
No. Three is always better.
Yeah, it's pretty true. 3 is pretty good.
3 is always better than
Alright.
2.
Yeah.
When it comes to like funny, at least.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
There's always like 2 really funny guys and then a tall guy. That's like every podcast.
Okay, George.
There you go. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, man, it's fine.
Yeah. No. This is good.
All right, whatever. Anyways,
I wonder how not funny or entertaining this was to the people listening.
We'll never know. We're not them.
Because I'm like, I think I'm like, we're seasoned enough to know, like, yeah, we didn't just do the best podcast of all time.
Yeah, that's fair.
But at certain points, it kind of felt like it.
right.
No, totally.
But also, I think it could have been a lot better if we had really no script. And we were really just feeling like we could say.
We had
I don't know how more not scripted we could be than having no script.
100%.
That's
I'll
pretty
tell
much
you,
what
I'll
we
tell you.
were.
We had there was some implanted of like, this is a volleyball audience, and we're gonna try to find some parallels in like music.
Oh, you mean if there wasn't like
and like
parameters?
you're my brother.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like
Cum
no
Town.
parameters,
Yeah.
dude.
I was just talking about how great it would be if there's a podcast that was
Cum.
called just like
Yeah, it's
jizz or
literally Cum
let's talk
Town.
about jizz.
There you go.
Cum Town.
Yeah, it's
And it
that
was
for
great.
sure.
Anyway, sorry. They probably actually shouldn't know that we like that
No,
podcast.
probably not.
Nah,
We'll cut it out. You got to do a lot of cutting out on this one.
dump it.
All right, the
Dump
Michael
it.
Garmany podcast. Hold up
Yeah.
music. for
Yeah,
people
hold
who-
up. The hold up is my music. Some of it.
Yeah. Anything else?
No,
Nothing.
think so.
Grant, you got anything? for people
I
who
got
are
nothing to promote. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just your
Oh,
brother.
well,
just- Well,
we're doing shows together,
Yeah, we'll do some shows.
so that's cool. You don't want to talk about it?
We're
What
gonna
you
do it in
Music that you do?
November.
Can I tell them?
Yeah.
That your ex-boyfriend?
Yeah,
That's your artist name?
I have
yeah,
a
why
little.
don't
I
you
have.
pitch that
I'm,
a little bit. Fuck.
And you have
I
music
like.
out?
I have a little thing that when I write songs that I don't like for anybody else, I put
Dude,
them
you
out for
were-
myself.
It's
Yeah,
so
under
it's so,
EXBF,
I think
right?
we can both agree, dude. I think it's crazy to me how like you've been, at least for me, like
I have to eat. Are we going to talk about the rest of this on the pod?
But I just think it's incredible that like even you've just
Guarantee
never been
this
one to
goes for
promote
another
yourself,
20 minutes.
ever.
Well, I don't really
You worked
technically.
at Starbucks for 10 years and was so much more talented. Should have gone there a long time ago and found the thing that eventually found you.
Right.
But I'm just like, it's always blown my mind as someone who's like as like socially confident and like so creative.
Yeah, but it's like that's why this is also like the job I have is the perfect job for me because like I get to do all the things that I've always wanted to do without having to like promote myself.
Mm.
And I do promote myself in some ways too. Like I have to talk myself up to people. I have to like pitch myself to people
you think
on.
you're getting better at it.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah.
I in the capacity of my job. Yeah,
Have you ever
but-
said like I'm great at writing songs?
I know I'm great at writing songs.
No, but have you ever said that to someone
Yeah,
in the business?
for sure.
Like to pitch yourself.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
And I think, well, I do it fun. I tell people I'm the greatest songwriter ever sometimes, like for fun.
Oh,
But like I do
That's
no,
true.
but like I
believe
definitely
it.
I definitely think I'm really good at writing songs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like not having an
Believe it.
agenda or like things to promote. Plus, like I don't know, don't need to get too much about what my job is.
I'm gonna start looking.
All right, that's it. This
There
is
you go.
Ex-Boyfriend. Check it
Yeah,
out.
check it out.
This was fantastic. I love both of you. I love you.
I love you too.
Love
Thanks.
you.
I
I
love
love
you.
you.
I love you.
There
I
it
love
is.
you.
And
I
eye
love you.
contact
Because that's
glasses, please.
important.
Thank you.
Big time.
I love you.
Living.